Out of his own. Oh, shh.
Okay, should be live. Should be. I always have to do this little.
Yeah, it's nothing's happening. I'm looking. Nothing's happening.
Yeah, no. We're there now. All right, what's up? What's up, YouTube? Cider Report back for a video. Joining me as always is Kevin.
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
So we have some guests on tonight, guys. We have Dave and we have Mathpig. Mathpig, by the way, is only is it 30 or so subs away from 1,000. We want to get him to 1,000 before New Year's because he is going to be doing a New Year's stream where Mathpig, the sex symbol that he is, that symbol being a question mark, is
28 subs. 28 subs.
28 subs is going to be going is going to be wearing a Borat style mankini live on stream. So if you want to see that, you fucking hit sub to Mathpig.
Yeah.
He needs another 500 subs.
I haven't said how long I'm appearing on stream. It could just be for 2 minutes.
How you doing, Leo?
How's it going, Leo?
Leo.
I see you've aged about 30 years and are now smoking a pipe.
And pipes are the they're the way to go. Unless you can roll joints, I don't know how to roll joints.
I mean, I do say that, you know, like the pipe and aging about 30 years. I watched him smoke a cigar earlier, so you know.
You watched who smoke a cigar? Oh, like just a regular cigar or like an actual like weed cigar?
A shitty cheap one.
Oh, Mathpig just straight rolls up on stream.
They're tobacco.
They're tobacco.
Yeah, what is that? So that apple flavored tobacco that you're smoking?
Yeah.
It's amber leaf original. It's amber leaf original.
Amber leaf Bob Marley strain. Yeah.
I see the cripple is here. Is he going to say anything?
No, he's not going to say anything at all.
Okay, guys. So yeah, we have a lot of topics for. We have a few.
So you have a lot of topics. We've been dragged along here to talk about them. Oh man, it's your channel. You do what you want. No, I'm only winding you up.
Yeah. So like, I think that the first one that we're going to talk about, I just kind of think that like, just because I think that most people are going to have heard of this. So the New York Post did a story about Lauren Caitlin Quay, who? Lauren Caitlin Quay. She is a medic in New York.
Oh yes, it does the OnlyFans.
Yeah, and they wrote up they basically discovered that she had this OnlyFans account, and so like they got
just to point out, Dave and Leo are both sexist pricks because they didn't realize who we were talking about until it was like that nurse with the OnlyFans. We're like, no, we're not.
Yes, that one.
Well, no, I didn't know. I didn't know what her name was. I knew the story. I just didn't know her name.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, I did.
Dude, over the past 2 days, I've been called a rapist and a rape apologist. So I've also been called a pedophile. So it's nothing new to me.
Wow.
Have you been talking to Steve?
Don't ask why. No, I haven't. I mean, other people have problems with him personally. I don't, but no, I was arguing that when you examine the first book in the A Song of Ice and Fire series, A Game of Thrones, where Khal Drogo and Daenerys' wedding is consummated, examining that from a historical perspective that relates to the time period that the series mirrors, you couldn't reasonably consider that rape, despite the fact that I would, by my contemporary socio-ethical standards, consider it rape, at least in a statutory sense, because she's 13 years old. And so because I said this, now I'm a rapist and a rape apologist and all other stuff, because I guess I don't want to commit the fallacy of presentism. And I've actually done research on medieval history, and wedding a 13-year-old woman to a 30-year-old or somebody around that age was just commonplace. I mean, nobody can deny that.
Okay,
it's wrong now, yeah, but was it wrong back then? No.
Okay, yeah.
Funny how they gloss over that in the show, isn't it?
So
what?
New York Post. You were saying, Stephen, the New York Post.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, they contacted Lauren, and they like asked her about it and stuff like this. and you know, like asked her, was it true? This, that, and the other thing. And Lauren basically said, you know, like, yes, that it was, and that, and she asked them to not, you know, like say anything, to not like mention her name or like do anything else like this, that she wanted it to be, you know, she like wanted her name out of it. Well, they didn't respect that decision. In fact, they doxed her. They called her place of work, and they called her parents, which is just it's just beyond fucking stupid.
It was done purposefully.
Oh yeah.
Well,
obviously.
yeah, but I mean, like, it's just a fucking OnlyFans. Like, just first off, just who the fuck cares? But also, they like kind of wrote the headline as, you know, this kind of like sex baiting almost, you know, like New York medic has an OnlyFans, and they kind of wrote it as like to come across in this like racy type of a way. But I mean, as AOC pointed out in the in a tweet back to the article, which she fucking nailed it for me. She was like, yeah, the real headline here should be New York medic doesn't make enough money to survive. That should be should be the headline.
Well, I follow at least a dozen medical professionals, nurses, doctors, pharmacists that have OnlyFans.
The amount of people that have an OnlyFans is just way more than what anybody thinks OnlyFans has for accounts.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I just personally just don't see the big issue with having an OnlyFans. I just really don't.
No, but you live in the 21st century.
Yes.
Christian conservative.
Yeah.
I don't know, I might be roboting right now. If I am, I'm sorry, but I'm going to try to jump Wi-Fi networks really quick to my 5G one, so it's not so roboty for me. So if I drop out, I'll be back.
I don't think you can post a link in the chat anymore, Stephen. New moderator laws.
Surely can, right? Ah.
I'll see a link you put in. I put the link in. You see that?
No. Oh, I'm in top chat. I should change to live. But no moderators can't post links anymore.
No, well, I can.
I'm still looking.
And did that come up?
TAV did. Oh, yeah, Cider and Port did. Yeah, Cider and Port can put it.
Well, I don't know why mods wouldn't be able to put it in, but okay.
The owners can't see well a lot of the time now. It's a bug. Team YouTube looking at it.
Oh, it's a bug. It's not
yeah. No, not intentional.
Oh, that's very interesting. That kicked in about 2 days ago. That's annoying.
Leo was kicked. Yeah, I was just going to say Leo was kicked. Yeah, there we go. It probably happened because he switched Wi-Fi, you know, and it is. Yeah. Went off or whatever.
Jeez, it's all this job talk.
What's that, mate?
So, what?
No, Pathmig said something. Dude, what's up with your virtual hat? It keeps. Does anybody else see that?
Yeah, it's been doing that for about a year. You know, it's part of.
I got to be honest. I actually didn't. I never noticed that. I really didn't.
It's just what it does.
Yeah, I think I might have kind of noticed it before, but I don't know. It just kind of.
It's supposed to be
subtle.
something. You're not supposed to notice it. You're supposed to notice it, but not notice it. Like the background music.
Like the whole thing is just
subliminal.
Yeah, the whole thing is kind of shaking more than Mathpig's actual head is. So you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just.
But it means even when I sit still and do nothing, there's something to look at and it twitches.
So, are we still talking about the woman who got fired for having an OnlyFans account? What I was going to say is, how many high-ranking people in a business or a corporation probably have an OnlyFans, and they've probably told people they work with, and they were just like, eh. But when you're when you're just an average worker. Oh, wait, hold on. You're making extra money on the side, meaning that you're actually probably having at least a significantly better standard of living than you used to have. Well, then I got to fire you now because I can't let you have such a good standard of living. I swear to God, that's the reason they do it.
I don't. I think it's more based in the mindset of where people are from the Christian upbringing and things like that, more so than it is I have more money than you.
Companies in the
I was
US,
kind of I was being a little facetious.
companies in the US believe that they have a moral responsibility for their employees, which is fucking horrific.
You have to remember, Dave, here in the United States, we don't have, I mean, we do have capitalism, but the version of capitalism we have is sort of more feudalism for the modern age.
Revenant Puritanism.
You know, no, Junk Chop's got a point.
Yeah.
Because that shit just, it's that Puritan traditionalist. It just, and you tend to get that more from religious people naturally. But yeah, I think that being, in all seriousness, I think that that's one of the biggest reasons. And like Dave said, the corporations here, they feel like they have this moral obligation to, you know,
responsibility and obligation. It's more like butting in. It's like a moral imperative.
Yeah, that is a better word.
I don't like responsibility because the companies there don't take fucking responsibility; they avoid it.
Exactly. I don't know. What I want to know with some of them is, do they think that their employee having an OnlyFans like hurts the image of the business?
To the wider.
Well, I think it's exactly the same as abortion. It's exactly the same as the health insurance funding abortion.
Okay,
that's where it fits in their heads. That they are implicitly agreeing or endorsing it if they know about it and allow it.
Yeah. And that's it. That's kind of what my question was. Is like, does a company feel like this is something that they're endorsing or promoting by having employees engaged? It's like, oh, well, it's bad for business. It's bad for our image, so we gotta let you go.
It's none of their fucking business. They should fuck off out of people's lives.
And the funny thing is,
swearing rules.
I wish
we don't have any swearing rules. No. I curse more than anybody that I know. So no.
Okay.
Really, go fuck yourself.
Well, fuck you too, dickhead.
Wasn't there? I want to say there was also a kid who was virtually suspended from virtual school since they're not actually going to school, or at least they weren't where he was at. And he got suspended for, I think it was that there was like a gun hanging on the wall or something along those lines, and they suspend him for it. Virtually suspended.
Wasn't it?
Yeah, it was in the background of their virtual class. And I might be wrong on this detail. I want to say it was like a gun hanging on a wall, or it was something that was along those lines, and they fucking suspend. I was like, you've got this. What do you expect? There comes a limit, obviously. If one of the students gets naked, I mean, obviously it's a problem. So within reason. But like, why are you concerned about what people have or do in their own home? It just astounds me.
Yeah, I mean, like we don't punish an alcoholic who turns up to work and does his day's work. Who then goes home and drinks himself,
and beats his wife
into a super and beats his wife. Yeah, we don't fire somebody for that. We don't fire somebody for smoking a joint when they finish work or when they go home or on their day off. We do if they're in work, and the same for alcohol. Yeah. But the point is that like, why are we allowed to fire somebody for what they do in their own home if it's an OnlyFans account? That's like my biggest thing. Because
what I want to know is if a court would be capable of finding a way of ruling that people that are engaged in things like having an OnlyFans are technically protected under some amendment or some law that we might have here. I want to know if a court could find a way to like make that loophole to say no. If one of your employees is an OnlyFans,
it is a religious thing.
What's that?
It's a religious thing, but the problem is it's because it's not their. It's one of these things where we're back at it being because we don't have an organized sane people. We don't have an atheism that says, "Oh shit."
Is that really your?
What rave?
No, that's my. You have to take drugs now.
You I mean, okay. But God, Dave, you are a fucking Brit bonger. Like, I'm sorry, dude, you are.
I forgot what I was saying now. No, but it's a religious argument that they.
Yeah. I
They
suppose
said-
it would be like Hobby Lobby saying, well, we don't want to sell, what was it, Plan B or some stupid shit like that.
It's exactly the same. Okay, how is it different to me not wanting to employ you because you go to that Baptist church?
Ask that question again.
Yeah.
How is it different to me saying I am not going to employ you because you go to that Baptist church over there?
Yeah, personally, I don't see a difference, and I would say that both should be disallowed.
I mean, in existing laws, an awful lot of employment discrimination laws, they do account for religious expression of freedom. So that probably doesn't equate 1-to-1, like I was saying.
Technically, under the law, somebody could say, well, I don't want black people in the restaurant because of religious reasons. I'm part of a religion where, you know, black people are seen as possessed by demons, so I can't let them in my store. But it's for their religion. So, I mean, obviously that wouldn't realistically happen, but theoretically one could just say that and theoretically get away with it because of the law giving exemptions to religious expression. Which shows you why that shouldn't be a loophole. I'm sorry, but I can understand religious expression, but when it comes to a massive corporation that serves the needs of literally tens of millions of people, things like that, to me, there should be a limit on what they can and can't refuse or refuse to provide or something like that, just because of the service they provide to society.
In my opinion,
The company should not. If you are the market is being provided by the government.
In a sense, yeah.
The means of exchange, the way that business in America, the way it's set up, the government is providing the market. If you are going to interact with that market, the people have decided that you must do it in a non-discriminatory way. If you want to offer a service to that market, it has to be done in a non-discriminatory way.
Yeah.
And that means you can't discriminate. Now, the point is, don't get me wrong. I've got no problem. I do on a personal level, but on a logical level, I've got no problem with a racist being racist, with someone refusing to deal with black people, with someone refusing to deal with women. Yeah, they're fucking idiots, but I've got no problem with it. But when you put that into a business, when you put that into anywhere else, all of a sudden, that's what the government is implicitly endorsing it if you allow that. But from a business perspective, it has to be non-discriminatory.
Yeah.
In this particular instance, and in instances similar, I don't think it's as much about the religious beliefs of the company themselves. I think that they fear the repercussions of the religious beliefs of their potential marketplace coming back to bite them. I agree, it does all come down to leftover puritanical beliefs and stuff like that, but I don't think it's on behalf of the business per se. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense. I
don't think so, because there's been no examples of it. There have been no examples of companies being harmed by being
bad PR, though. And
Say
actually, I said it's all about the fear of bad PR. Actually, Stephen,
yeah, that's what it is.
What repercussions did your one actually have from this? Did she?
Pretty sure she was fired, right?
She was fired, was she?
Yeah, that one was fired. She was, what was she? Some sort of nurse or EMS or something along those lines. What was that?
I think, was she a paramedic?
It's EMS paramedic. She was something working in healthcare, I believe on front lines. And yeah, they fired her. This is absolutely ridiculous. This is insane.
But I mean, as AOC said as well, the real kind of story was that a medic doesn't make enough money to survive.
Yeah, exactly.
That's frontline worker, a literal key worker, the person who's like the main line 100%. Of defense during a fucking pandemic. And she, the only reason I don't that get she didn't want to, she was forced to because she didn't make enough money. So I don't know. It's
The thing I don't get, and I don't want to sort of go off on a slight tangent too much, but the thing that I don't get about a lot of these conservatives here in this country is they bitch and complain about raising the minimum wage because, well, why should all these burger flippers and people that work at Walmart and what have you be paid $15 an hour? I mean, the construction workers and the paramedics and all this stuff, that's how much they get paid. Like, why should people who flip burgers be making as much as them? And it's like, but the thing is that the people that you just mentioned, the construction workers, the paramedics, all that stuff, actually don't get paid all that well. I can't tell you how many CNA friends or even RN friends that I have or people that I know that still don't really get paid that well. Certainly not as much as they should be.
Wages across the board until you get to like executive level really have not kept up with inflation at all.
No, if the minimum wage in the United States had kept up with inflation since 1968, it'd be about $23 an hour right now. And the thing is, I think the average of all the nations in the OECD, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, there's 35 countries in there, most of Europe, the United States, Canada, countries like that, naturally. I think that the average minimum wage of all of them, I want to say, was like $17 or $18 an hour. The United States was the low marker on that graph.
Get up and lay down, Pat. Sorry, talking to the dog. I'll mute.
Yeah, right, man. You're all right. Don't worry about it.
Anybody else can jump in? Or
Sorry, my dog was poking at me.
Why don't you put your dog in the other room then, huh? Always helps. Sometimes. At least it's not like R and Raw, dude. His dog, you can hear it before you see it.
17 years I've had Pot. He's generally quite good. He just needs to go to the bathroom, probably.
Oh.
Hey, Keela.
Hello, people.
Howdy.
How do?
Howdy doody.
Get up exactly what Math Pig will be wearing on New Year's Eve if he reaches 1,000 subs. There we go. That's what he's going to be wearing. That's what he's going to be
30
wearing.
more to go.
28 now, Crafty. 28.
28. Congrats already. I'll definitely pump it out.
Yeah. Give it a like, give it a sub, and all the rest of it. We're having a New Year's Eve party stream. Just had a debate on slavery's nearly at I think it's nearly at 900 views now.
That was
Nice.
Wow.
And by the way, Matt, I was giving you shit when I said you need to do better moderation. I didn't actually mean that.
Oh, no,
I'm sure you were capable of figuring that out.
Oh, I have a screenshot. Somebody actually probably making a joke went, glad I caught this live, best YouTube creator ever. And I'm like, yeah, keeping that.
I'm sure you go.
I really wish that they would have stopped interrupting. They wouldn't have interrupted Dr. Josh as much as
I just like it'll forever be known as the stream where two black guys said that they would be slaves to a guy from the south, provided that they adhered to the laws of the Bible.
Jeez.
Oh, fuck.
Did you not see that, Stephen? No. Did you not see that?
I obviously didn't because I do not remember that line, but
Man, it's on my Twitter. You can bring up the picture from that. I've got the 45-second video. I will give you permission to use my content. There you are.
just in case anybody from the YouTube mods or whatever is fucking watching, yeah, I have permission.
By the way, guys, if you haven't seen my new live stream, it's only about 50-ish minutes long, but I responded to in real time to Braxton Hunter's 10 questions for atheists. I don't know if you guys have seen that video.
I've been meaning to watch that. I have it on my watch later list.
Mine or
working all night.
Just watch that. Everyone has responded to it, and you'll
but the thing is
repeated when
the thing is, my responses, I've watched a few other people respond since I've watched mine, and my responses, I think, I'm not going to say they're better because I just don't think that they.
Have you heard Noel Plum's?
But have I heard what?
Yeah, Noel Plum's is
Noel
fucking
Plum's response is fantastic.
brilliant. There you go. Hit that slavery in the Bible video.
Anyway, what I did with mine, and I don't know if anybody else did it, was
Leo,
I actually didn't watch that video.
Leo, we're watching the video.
Well, nobody
Do we have
told me
sound?
that.
Oh,
You didn't hit that button,
no, I don't
did you?
think. No, I don't. No, I didn't. Did I? I didn't. Did I?
Didn't watch.
You'll have to do it again.
Yeah.
Damn
I made a fuck
StreamYards.
up. I made a fuck up. I'll show you exactly. Look, you have to you have to click share audio. Why should that not be default?
It should be.
It
Penises,
should be. It should be,
penises
right?
and sex, penises and moaning.
What?
People
What?
join a random stream. You don't want it. Gives you extra control.
Right.
Okay, right. So we're watching a video. Okay.
Atheist slave, as per the rules of Exodus.
Turn your
Full
volume.
screen, Albuquerque.
Would that be the slaves of an atheist?
Would you be Jewish slave, as per the rules of Exodus?
Yeah.
No. I would say no because well I would say yes as long as the atheist is abiding by the statutes of God in the Old Testament.
What?
Wow.
Listen, I'm very Southern.
It's G-Man.
Please, let's not talk
That's
about
why.
this.
Well, now a little bit further into it. That means if I run away,
Wow, you don't have enough
We're not going to
information.
get down that
If I
route.
run
We're not
away,
going to
I
get
get
down that
the
route. We're going to fly through the crowd. Check out that great production.
Wow.
Oh my god!
Jesus.
Wow. Oh, he said only if they abide by the statutes
of
in the
Exodus.
Bible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
His first,
so
as soon as he joined Crafty, he came in and it was like 30 minutes late. He arrived with his top off going, "Are we live? Can we talk about this?" And it's like, man, we've been live for 30 minutes, like waiting on you.
which
Another
one?
opening.
I
Dima.
popped in. I popped in for like 5 minutes before he got there, and then I had to go to work.
Well, he eventually then fucked off and waited in the back room till he went over the rules, which was don't overtalk everyone. I'll just mute everybody. And that's basically the only fucking rule laid out. Opening statements and then an hour of back and forth where people can take control in turns. Excuse me. And as soon as G-Man's first chance was to talk, he was like, right, well, just to get this clear, yeah, the Bible does condone slavery, but you are all wrong in your definition of slavery. I'm right. Basically paraphrasing his opening statement. That was it.
G-Man wins every debate, though. You got to remember that, guys. Like, did you see the one on Modern Day Debate? Who was that between T-Jump and Sal? Dude, G-Man killed it in that debate.
Was G-Man on the one with Nathan Thompson versus who was it? Team Skeptic and Fight the Flat Earth.
I
I
don't
think
know.
it was G-Man on that. I think it was G-Man on that.
I didn't know that G-Man was a flat earther. That's news to me.
He's not. No. They were debating evolution.
Oh, okay.
I think it was G-Man, and he just. It was the first time I actually came across G-Man properly, and I just cringed for the whole entire thing.
The first person Christian-wise that I ever spoke to online was G-Man.
Oh God.
Yeah,
Attacking
that
you.
one-
Do you know Jay Pasek?
Yeah.
Was it like a Google Hangout invite or something like that? Or something?
No, it wasn't that far back. No. It was Jay Pasek got a new wireless keyboard and mouse and decided to sit with a bottle of whiskey and test it out. And nobody was there, so I jumped in and joined him. And then G-Man started to spout lying is worse than pedophilia because lying convinced the entire world to get punished, where pedophilia only hurts one child at a time. So I was a little bit wound up and had to jump in and join that and shout at him.
Yeah, no.
So
G-Man.
needless to say, he set the standard, really, didn't he?
It was when the whole Matt Bell thing came out. You know about Matt Bell?
yeah.
Oh, Ginger Twink.
That was nicer.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know about Ginger Twink, but the whole Matt Bell thing was
That's
before
what
your
Aaron
time.
Rock calls him. That's what I call him. I think it's fucking hilarious.
Do you know? I don't even think he is Ginger.
I don't care. He's Ginger Twink now and forever.
Cause you should probably look into the story of it. So just instead of just it's a bit fucked up.
Yeah, I think I know what show you're talking about. It's not a good one.
But yeah, G-Man was my first Christian that I shouted at.
Nice. And you haven't looked back since.
Oh no,
Mine
I
on-
actually have recorded the video and it's for Patreons only.
Oh,
That's
wow.
just mean. I understand, but that's just mean.
I
That should be shared far and wide.
Oh, G-Man popped Matt Pig tray.
Him getting changed into the Mankini is going to be patrons only as well.
No.
I was like,
No, dude, you put that one up on YouTube, you'll gain another
Seeing
1,000 subscribers before the end of January.
Is it seeing the mankini or getting changed into the mankini? Because that's very
no,
different.
Dave can wish all he wants. I have a house coat. I have shaved my chest and all the rest of it in preparation. I'm that
You
close.
actually think you're going to make it?
Why did you shave your? Wait, why did you shave your chest? Borat didn't shave his. Well, I mean,
Well, in all honesty, I've been doing it now for about a month or so, and I've got used to it now. It's quiet. It's nice. It's nice. Yeah, everything's smooth, all smooth.
We'll need to get
Sleek
Team
and
Skeptic on as well in his mankini.
See, the reason Dave fucking sent the mankini because my actual Amazon wish list is actual shit for the channel, and not just shit for me. It's got a couple of toys for the child, and then a camera and a new keyboard or whatever stuff I need. So Dave was like, "Fuck that, that's no fun. I'm buying him a mankini."
As you do. I did the same thing for Sarcastic Barman. Oh, that story is great. We had an agreement with Taddy Bogle that if he reached like 300 subs, he would go. He would do a live stream on his channel because Taddy didn't really stream at all. He managed the streams.
Yes.
And so for it, he said, "I'll wear a mankini." Now he never said he'd wear a mankini on screen. He did show it at the end of it though. So I bought one for Barman because Barman was the one that came up with the mankini thing. So I said, if he's going to do it, so do you. So I sent him a mankini.
Barman bought his. I haven't seen that.
Does that mean that Dave has to get a mankini?
No.
Yes.
I think by that logic,
I think we can send him one. I think I have the perfect one too.
How did I'm disturbed? No one's seen my body. How could I possibly have
We don't need to.
Unfortunately, I've seen the top half in bed, topless.
I'll happily wear one on two conditions.
Go on.
Okay, name them. Go on.
I can wear my green screen clothes and I can put it on in front of my green screen.
No.
No. that
Although we were joking about
nullifies it.
The fact that the Borat one is so green, I could chroma cam the actual video feed and make it anything I wanted. Like,
I will counter that. I will counter that. If you do, and you do this green screen and we meet the conditions, you have to remove the green screen images for at least 5 minutes of the stream.
That sounds horrific.
Oh, this is going to be one hell of a stream, isn't it?
man, it feels like 3 o'clock in the morning for me, and it's already early. But
it's not 3 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, we could.
no, but I usually do my streams on a Sunday at 10 o'clock. But because of tonight, I have to do it at 8, so it feels like I'm 2 hours.
Oh yeah.
We all need Jesus, apparently. Why does he look good in a mankini?
Which one? Which depiction?
Yeah, is because I mean, like, if it's is it Cesare Borgia one that like people think is like the picture of Jesus? Is that the one I'm thinking of? Yeah, is that the one?
Borgia,
Yeah.
What?
If it's that one, I think that he would look bomb with a fucking mankini. Absolutely.
In my defense, I have a friend called Jesus, but we call him Jesus.
Yeah, Jesus.
So technically,
That just sounds like you're
I don't
saying
need
hi
a
to
Jesus.
Zeus. That just sounds like you're saying hi to Zeus.
Yes, Jesus. That's why I like saying it so much. Which annoys him, but it's funny. So technically, I don't need another Jesus.
Yeah, because you already have. Yeah, okay.
The numbers add up.
Yeah, it does. It does to me anyway.
Yeah. There can only be one. There can only be one.
There can only be one.
Fucking love that.
Fucking love what?
Highlander.
Yeah.
Conor McLeod of the Clan McLeod, born 1536.
Matt Big, when we're talking about references, right, before we move on, I saw on your Twitter handle, Hogfather. Is that a Pratchett reference?
No, it's just some bastard took fucking Math Pig 1, so when I went up with it, I had to go with Math Pig 2, tried to contact him, and he's been blocked and not allowed, and he was a bad man, whatever the fuck he did. So I just went with Hogfather. And then the fact that I have mathpig.com now, hoping to have hogfather@mathpig.com as my email.
Nice.
Nice.
Although, yes, it is a Pratchett reference.
Yeah.
Even if it's unintended.
It is a what reference?
Terry Pratchett, he's a
Terry Pratchett.
Thank you.
One of
Tina,
my
for getting
favorite
that.
authors, actually.
Yes, he's amazing. I'm so sad to meet that. Is it 4
Oh,
years now?
very good.
I think so.
Such a pity. Such a pity. Hogfire wasn't my favorite one now, but it was good.
God, no,
I don't know
Going Postal.
what you guys are talking about.
Sorry, we're all just kind of sit here and just listen to
Going
you two at the
Postal.
moment.
I loved Going Postal.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen that. Is that a movie? Is that a TV show? I don't know.
It is actually. It was turned into a TV show at one point.
Going Postal.
I think
does it
I
sound
think it was the
vaguely
BBC.
familiar?
I think it was the BBC that took over, tried to do different Terry Pratchett books.
They actually did Hogfather as well.
They did Hogfather, they did Going Postal, and they did, what was the other one? I have it on my thing. Hang on.
I always thought Pratchett would be so hard to adapt because so much of his is like subtext and explanation and kind of wry sarcasm that doesn't really.
I can't even remember where Hogfather came from as an idea for a Twitter handle. I think we were talking about it, Dave, were we?
You already used it before then.
The Color of Magic is the other one, sorry. That was going to annoy me.
That'd be really hard to adapt.
Sean Astin is in that. It's not a lad that plays Samwise in Lord of the Rings.
Who's plays? Is he Rincewind?
No, he plays the visitor.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Actually, that makes sense.
It's absolutely brilliant. The way in which they've done it is absolutely brilliant.
Can I make a statement very quickly?
Sure.
My profile picture is superior to all of yours.
Wow. You are so not up your own ass. It's amazing.
Yours is cool, but my one was made especially for me, so fuck off.
I
Mine would say the same, but it's not.
Mine was made by Padme the Cat because I come up with the tagline for Skylar Fiction's Raptor Jesus. He evolved for our sins. So as a thank you, Padme the Cat created mine.
Nice.
Steam
and Cup of Reason. Made my one. So
Stephen, can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
How did the rebrand affect the channel?
Actually, pretty good. Yeah. I've gotten like a lot, like like more subs and stuff like that. Like since, since changing the name, and if you go over the, the view counts and stuff like that, like there's more people like. From before I changed it to after I changed it, there's more people who are not subbed who are watching the videos. You know what I mean? So like they're able to kind of find them. Yeah,
organic reach too.
Yeah.
If I may, really quickly, just for everybody in the audience, since we're talking about Steven and his channel, if you're not subscribed to Steven, you should really consider hitting that subscribe button. It would really help him out. I mean, I don't know what the fuck you plan on doing when you come to YouTube if you're not subscribed to Steven.
Exactly.
I have 48% unsubscribed that watch my fucking content, right?
Really? That's very
Worst fuck.
I don't know what my percentage is.
But right, in saying that does take into account the top 2 videos on my channel, which are like 4,000 views and 6,000 views, which are Darth Dawkins. My top search, the top search that brings content to me because of them 2 videos and the way that they're tagged and thumbnails and all that shit. The top 2 searches for bringing content to my channel is Darth Dawkins and Darth Dawkins own. Then the next one is Math Pig. So the one that actually counts being number 3 would still be Math Pig, The video that I had the other day, it's now going to be out of the one that counts number 2, the first one being Noel Plum. That was a fucking brilliant. Noel Plum is just, if people aren't subscribed to Noel Plum, definitely need to do that. And then me.
And then
me.
No, us first, Stephen. Us first. We have to.
No. We'll let him have.
No, it's a dog eat dog word.
What? Actually, might be able to answer my own question.
The only analytic that actually fucking matters is your click-through rate. That's the one you need to watch.
What's mine is 5.8%.
Oh, that's fucking weird.
Shit, guys. I went to Noel Plum's channel and he's got a video. Why rocks are still not atheists? Just for that, I'm subscribing.
Yeah, that's his 3rd one. That's why it's called
I love you to death, but rocks aren't fucking atheists.
Yeah, it's his 3rd video on that. He is just fantastic. There's also a video where he makes fun of Steve McRae with his childish little dinosaur toy that plays fucking Spice Girls, which is just hilarious.
Sense of lull in the conversation. Received. John, introduce the next topic.
Yeah, sure. I think this is going to be a fun one, and this is probably going to be like a long one that's going to go down like several different like avenues and like side topics and stuff like that. But it was something that I kind of said live on your stream the last time.
Is that just me, or did Steven cut out?
know,
Okay, no, there he is.
Uber sex fucking prepared for it. Okay, sorry, my internet just kind of glitched out there for a little while.
You're good now.
Yeah, so that one I was not prepared for in any way, shape, or form. Was that Trump has officially lost the election? The
Really?
electoral colleges, cast their votes, and yeah, he's out. I mean, Biden is he kind of already was, but he is now like officially president-elect.
I did predict it. I did predict it the last time I was here.
But Crafty, good. I think I predicted something. So I think I sent a tweet out
a lot
ages
of
ago.
people predicted that Biden was
302 is what I called it at. What did it end at?
Oh man, I called it. Fuck, I don't know about 294. I think was what I was going to say. 294 for Biden.
Yeah, I think everybody kind of thought that he was going to do better than that, but
I didn't think he would reach 300. I'm going to be honest. I thought it would have been a lot closer.
Who,
Spartan theology can go fuck himself.
I genuinely didn't think he was going to get Georgia. That was the only one.
Yeah, I didn't
actually surprised me.
What were the states that I had flipped? Because one of them, Georgia went blue, and the map that I had, Georgia went red, and then another state went blue, and I can't remember which state that was.
Wisconsin?
No.
Nevada?
Fuck, I don't know. I'd have to look at the map again. But yeah, I had Biden at either 294 or 296.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to get past 300. I knew he was going to win, but I didn't think he'd get past 300. So
You have to get past 200 to win because it's 270. I think you mean 300.
Yeah, 300.
Yeah, I didn't either. I was like, he's gonna edge out a win by like 4, 6, maybe 80 electoral votes. But he did better. Thought he was gonna do, I guess. He fucking flipped George blue.
But it is amazing to actually see the Electoral College signing off on it and doing right by the will of the people. Because there was discussion.
No problem.
Yeah, there was discussion of an alternate panel and who would be on that alternate panel and if it would actually make any shred of difference. It was actually quite scary there for a week or two. But I've also heard that he could bring in the National Guard and try to overturn the election. Fortunately, the popularity isn't with him on that, so that's not going to happen.
Thank God,
Yeah.
But it is still quite scary. We still have a month.
You can do an awful lot of damage in a month.
Yep.
On him.
You hear about the discussing whether or not he could put troops on the street?
Yeah.
Hold another election.
Yeah, because he's going around. Oh, people dropped out. He is going around literally calling him an illegitimate president. Trump is going around saying that Biden will be an illegitimate president, and that is a dangerous thing.
Yeah, because he's just convinced that there's no way that he could have gotten the level or the amount of votes that he did. Basically, that that like Biden couldn't possibly have gotten more than Obama did, and all this sort of stuff. But I mean, like, there's like such like kind of like easy and quick answers to this. Which is that like
people hated Trump.
Yeah, people are fed up.
People
hated Trump, right? So like that's just kind of first off. But then you have to count into, the 2 times Obama voters who then switched to Trump, who then got fed up of him and then switched back to Biden. So you have to count those people in as well. You also have to count in every single new person of age that has turned 18 in the last 4 years.
Yep.
And they are predominantly Democrat and they went out and voted. So you have to count in all of those other people. It's
more importantly
to like come up with the amount of votes that Biden got. It's not fraud. It's just
here's the most important aspect of it. Predominantly, when black voters go to the polls, they are harassed in the polls to the extent that they don't actually get to vote. the mail-in ballots made it so much easier for Black voters to actually vote without the harassment. So you've seen a huge level of turnout of Latinos and of Black voters. So that also has to be taken into context, because these are people who would have never had the opportunity or would not have risked the opportunity of going to vote.
Yeah.
So that's the other thing.
But I mean, like, then, like, you have the Trump supporters, like, and Trump himself obviously saying that, like, the election, you know, or that, like, it was rigged, or it was this, or it was that, or you know, there was, or that, like, there was, like, fraud, or there was this or that. There was fake ballot boxes that were put up by Republicans who knew that it was mainly Democrats who vote mail-in ballot, and it's mainly Republicans who do their voting on the day. So they put up the fake ballot boxes. Democrats cast their vote, put them in the fake ballot, the boxes, and then they were taken and destroyed. So you're literally destroying people's votes who did it by mail. And so, I mean, like, the fact that they're talking about fucking fraud, like, to quote Joe Biden, come on, man, fuck off. Like, you know, seriously, like.
I think it sets a dangerous precedence, that, and again, it speaks to Trump's idiocy when he goes on about voter fraud. When he goes on about voter fraud, knowing that the Republicans were pulling shit like this, he was actually saying, well, yeah, he was being honest. There was voter fraud. There was these boxes that were put up in the middle of fucking Democratic districts, and then taken away and thrown into rivers and stuff. So that actually did happen, but it wasn't Trump voters that were being targeted. That's what's remarkable. So he is actually being honest, and that's the interesting thing. He is being honest when he says it. He's just targeting it at the opposite candidate.
Did you guys already cover the fact that the Republican Party in states where they had the power limited the amount of ballot boxes or polling locations in heavily Democratic, oftentimes heavily African-American districts?
Yes.
They did this in Texas. They did this in Georgia. I think they did it in Louisiana. Oh, yeah.
That's why a lot of people did the mail-in ballots, and that's why a lot of people were out at 4 o'clock in the morning waiting to cast their vote. Especially in Georgia.
Yeah, early voting was the minute that I saw early voting up the way it was. I was like, honestly, I really do think Biden's going to win, just because there's going to be way more people voting, and there was, and I knew that most of those people are voting for fucking Biden because nobody wants to tolerate Trump's bullshit anymore. His malarkey.
I watched the election coverage the night it happened, like the election night, and I remember I was watching CNN. I was going from 2 days. Yeah, I was going from CNN to ABC, kind of floating between the two. And my sister was actually here, and my sister doesn't really like politics at all. But we were watching Trump's speech, and just how devastating and terrified I was. I was actually nearly in tears watching it, because it's just, even though I'm on the opposite side of the world, it's still terrifying. And the only thing that broke that fear was the CNN graphics guy. That guy deserves a medal. You didn't see the coverage, go look it up. It is just brilliant.
Oh, excuse me.
How you doing, Michael? Thank you so much for joining us. It's been far too long since we've spoken.
Hey, brother. Thanks so much for shooting me the link. So the first thing I want to say is WTF with your last podcast and your screen freezing and stuff. That was fucking hysterical.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell happened, man. We were streaming for, I don't know, was I streaming for, it was like an hour, 25 minutes or so.
Something
and
like
then, it just completely froze. And I was very upset about that, I'm sure.
It's what it is.
Well, you see, because I was so upset about it because the stream kept going, but the laptop paused, and I was responding to a video at the time, so I couldn't continue it.
Yeah.
It was like a minute or so left of that video, and I couldn't respond to the rest of it. So I was like, shit, it's not playing. So
it was kind of funny. Math Pig, how the hell are you, man?
So goddamn close, man. I'm now 24. 24. If everybody on screen here creates just 4 socks, we can do this. Like, you know.
I'm not
I've
doing it.
already done 30. Google has stopped me doing any more.
I know I'm at 14, you know, but I haven't subscribed to myself.
Never. I hope they've all subscribed to me as
Then you
well.
only need 10. If you get the rest of the other 14 to sub to yourself, then you only need 10.
No, that's cheating. The reason I laughed earlier is I actually have a
It's
fucking
not
Google
cheating.
account. I have a Google account called Conor McLeod 1546 @gmail.com, you know. There is only one, you know.
Yeah, I don't have any socks subscribed to myself. All 200 subscribers I have are raw, real subscribers. So, I need that sock account bullshit.
I don't quite think that the word raw was kind of necessary there, but
Raw
free range.
Raw and real.
You genuinely don't create socks generally to subscribe to yourself. You know, I have the dangling Irishman. That's not to subscribe to myself. Like,
So what's on the
I
menu?
get
For
why
dinner?
I've got a dangling Irishman.
yeah, you've 2 dangling Irishman accounts. I don't know what you're doing.
They seem in
Just kind
demand.
of whilst we're in like a little bit of like a break in the topics for tonight, Michael, I have to personally congratulate you for being able to do a debate for an hour and a half against Mr. Batman. I mean, genuinely.
Oh,
That-
you
Oh,
did
Mr.
not.
Batman. Oh, my
With
God.
Be on stream doing that. That's
Well, or as I like to call him, Jim,
Well
because I said he's not cool enough to be Batman, which I'm pretty sure pissed him off. But
Is
that
his
was
name
funny.
actually Jim?
Yeah, his name is Jim. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna start calling him Jim now, straight up. He looks like a Jim, though. I'm sorry, he does.
he does.
It's almost
Yeah,
it's almost
he
like his
looks
name
like a
wasn't
fucking
Jim, you just
Jim.
called him that.
Yeah, it was when he was on MDD talking to Jim Majors, and that's when it was Jim, and James, and that's how I found out that his name was Jim, and so I'm like, well, fuck this guy, I'm not calling him
Jim.
Batman,
Yeah.
so I just started calling him Jim, and
Yeah.
it's weird. I think James caught a lot of shit because I'm sure you guys know who he is, Josh Bowen, Dr.
Yep,
Josh.
Josh.
Right. So
Yeah.
he's been on the podcast a couple of times, and he sent me a Twitter message saying, "Hey, because I had mentioned slavery in that debate, and of course he is an expert in ancient Near Eastern culture,
Mhm.
and he said, "Hey, reach out to
Because if you ask him, he'll say he's not an expert.
Well, exactly. Yeah, he is unbelievably humble. And so he said, "Hey, reach out to James and find out if Jim or Batman, whatever the fuck you want to call him, wants to do a 2-on-2 debate, like you and me and him and somebody else." And so I messaged James right away, and he got back to me and he said he caught so much shit for having Jim on because he obviously didn't come to engage. All he wanted to do was preach a sermon, and so many people were giving him shit about it that he actually may not have him back on. So,
Oh, wow.
But he won't do the same for Nathan Thompson, which I don't understand.
I think it's weird. I don't get into the flat earth thing. In my mind, it's not even worth having a discussion about. But yeah, and actually most of the flat earth stuff I don't even bother watching because it just seems so useless to even talk about.
I would debate and want to debate Nathan Thompson for one reason only, and that is to absolutely fucking humiliate him. Because I know I could do it so easily, and it would be so much fun, and it would be exactly what that little punk needs.
And that's probably why I wouldn't want to, because I haven't spent enough time looking at the count. I mean, the only counter argument is the Earth isn't fucking flat, but I haven't spent any time looking into the arguments. So I don't think I'd be able to counter his Gish Gallop.
Did you
That's
see
exactly what
the
he
Aaron Raw one? Did
Yes.
you see the Aaron Raw?
And Aaron Ross straight up said, "I'm out. This dude can't shut the fuck up."
Yeah.
No.
Didn't bring the 2 things I asked him for. He brought
Yeah.
one, and now he's denying it. I'm out. I'm done.
He should have done that, and instead he kind of indulged and drew it out a little bit. He should have said, "No, you don't have a model. I'm out. gone.
Yeah, and I think he did eventually drop out, didn't he?
He
No,
did.
he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
And instead of fucking ending the stream there, they went on for another 2
Yeah.
bloody hours.
That was
Just,
the problem that I had with it, because that did nothing but give Nathan Thompson a fucking platform to
Yep.
just rant and rant and rant unchecked. And the problem is, if you've got a good understanding of things like physics and mathematics and trigonometry, things like that, that are related to the arguments that Nathan Thompson brings up, it can be very, very easy to just absolutely humiliate him. The fact that he doesn't know a goddamn thing about anything.
Well,
And
that's
that's why
the
I want to
point,
debate
though.
it.
That's the point, though. He will come out with, well, I don't know, but you can't tell me otherwise. That's his problem. I'm not. He will actually. He's the only one who will admit he doesn't know.
Interesting. And it's funny that the I don't know is exactly why I take the position of positive atheism, saying that gods don't exist.
So do I.
Because I don't like. I do think that atheists do have a burden of proof, and I don't like sloughing it off. But it's a really easy burden to meet, so I've never had a problem just saying, "Hey, your God doesn't exist."
Yeah, I'm with you.
But it was funny when I was talking to Jim, and now of course he's gone away. I was gonna say, Stephen, thanks so much for the shout out for the debate, if you could call it that. But as soon as I started to, I don't know if anybody's had a chance to look at it, but it's was last Sunday. Yeah, it was last Sunday. Anyway, I just took the position and I just conceded that his God exists and said, okay, your God's real and the Bible's an accurate representation. Now let's just talk about all the shitty things he's done. And and as soon as I started with that internal critique, he knew he had nothing to counter it, because he's like, well, where did this come from? Like, God did it. And so he started getting pissed off. He's like, I'm not interested in your fake worldview. So then, of course, he called me a liar. And I'm like, whatever. So.
And wait, who is this again?
Batman.
Oh, okay, yeah. That guy is... Holy shit, the first interaction I had with him was on Discord. Oh my god, that guy is just off the fucking wall.
Yeah, I don't do Discord really at all. And it's mostly because, so after I had my my debate with whatever the fuck you want to call him, Darth Dawkins, Duncan Atheism.
That's all 104.
Gary Mills.
He asked me, he invited me onto his Discord server. I'm like, are you fucking crazy? I'm like, I'm not going to go somewhere where you're the one who has the power. Like, I'll talk to you on a neutral platform, but I'm not going anywhere where you have the mute button.
Yep.
And you can't.
Loves that mute button.
Yeah.
You just can't trust him with that.
Steven.
There's no
Steven.
point, because as soon as
Steven, you're over talking me.
What?
Steven, you're over talking me.
Moderator.
Moderator. Where's the moderator? I'm sorry, I had.
Did you screen my interlocutor?
It's just like as soon as you say a word that goes off of his pre-written scripts, he interrupts you immediately.
Yep.
Right, and he like shout over you, and he'll call you, like this and that and the other thing. But as all of you have just demonstrated, if you so much as even dare to overtalk him, he'll like, oh my god, he loses his shit. But he will interrupt you as many times as he possibly likes.
We're talking about Thompson, yeah. He
No.
he came.
Darth Dawkins.
Oh, Huggins. Okay.
Please
but
tell me who Darth Dawkins is.
That's Dawkins.
yeah, Thompson came into Bob the Science Guy's Discord earlier while he was live and tried to derail the conversation, and he was just kicked.
Good.
It was great.
So what's Math Pig doing? He's there. He's not there. There he is.
It's the camera that I'm using. If I'm not looking at the right exact screen in the right direction, like if I look off to the left here.
Oh, there you go.
If I'm back and then I look off to the right here, the camera that I use for the floaty head is not as good as the camera that I use for the actual screen. I've got multiple camera setups here. Actual YouTuber, nearly at 1,000. Fucking hit the subscribe button.
All right, okay, Matt. Stop flexing, okay?
What are you at now?
Monitors.
Just to say, I did put up a community post with your link, MathBig.
Damn.
So
Thank you, Crafty.
How many subscribers are you at right now? Did it go up at all?
1,400.
I met Math Big.
Oh,
900. Hold on, I'll hit the refresh button here. And 977.
Oh.
yay! So you've actually gone up.
Yeah, like 6 or 7 subscribers. Thank you, Crafty. And the guy that I interviewed tonight has 40.
You want to
The guy
put
I
out one of
interviewed-
those community posts to your 1,400 subscribers for my channel there? That'd be
Well,
fantastic.
in fairness, 2 weeks ago you did pop into the side chat, and I was able to shill out your channel.
You did. Thank you so much for that. Yep.
I need to do more of it, and
No,
I will be live
live,
streaming.
and
I will
was
be
just
live
like,
streaming a lot more.
I remember doing it.
Yeah,
Okay,
I'll be
cool,
live streaming.
cool.
I'm being forced to live stream a lot more because that's what I'm being demanded to do. So,
Saying that's the way YouTube's going and all the rest of it. With the
well, yeah, I mean the content is going to be continuing. I've been working on several videos, but I've one coming out. I hoped to get it out today, and I just couldn't. So that's going to come out this week sometime, and that's on pseudoscience with PhD Tony. If you know PhD Tony,
I do not.
Don't know him.
Yeah, Tony Purcell. He is an Australian seismologist.
Ooh.
So yeah, and he's a good friend of mine. So it was great to get him on
What's
for a video.
What's your channel? Is your channel just Crafty? So
Crafty Keela. Yeah.
Ooh, it's a Crafty channel.
It's a Crafty channel.
My area of expertise is sociology. So I use that sociology and psychology in terms of conspiracy theorists. Obviously, coming into the flat Earth initially, but I am going to be doing a lot more and varying. So the next thing that I'm doing is a series on what we consider the social contract and the different areas in that. So I tried to cram it all into one video, and no, there's just too much.
Well, that takes me back. My formal education is in social work, but I don't do anything like that now. And when you're talking about it, just you talking about that just took me back. It was a neat little brain fuck.
Yeah, I just don't need to shell out my channel. I'm a big roller, 200 subscribers. What's up?
Whoop whoop.
Yeah, I understand. I think actually the Canadian Atheist has a YouTube channel. There's absolutely no content on it, and people I was like, "Oh, why don't you go on YouTube?" And I'm like, "I have a face for podcasting." But and it's funny because we're coming up to our 4-year anniversary for the podcast, and the whole thing started with just my I've been talking to my wife for a while, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to start it up. And I call my friend Dean, who's my partner on it. And I'm like, I'm starting a podcast. You want it? And he's like, sure. And that was that. And I've told this story a million times, but I'll tell it one more time because I'm talking to somebody for the first time.
Yay.
I got super lucky. I'm just outside Toronto in Canada. And there was this big atheist conference, the Imagine No Religion conference, and it was always in BC, and then they decided to do it in Toronto one year, and I was like, great, I can go. So I went, and I met up with Armin Navabi from Atheist Republic there, and he came on the podcast, and that was it. That was the stick of dynamite, and he blasted us out on his Facebook page. And everything just exploded from there. So the podcast is easy. Like YouTube seems like a lot more work, and the podcasting is super easy, which is great for me because I'm lazy.
Yes, and it's hard to edit videos. I'm going to say that now. What I do is I was basically peer pressured into setting up a channel. I went onto a stream, people liked what I had to say, and then kind of mid-stream, I set up the channel. Uh,
I was exactly the same.
Not
Just
my
for the
fault. Not
Not
my
good.
fault.
So yeah, and I got in with a few good creators. So I've been heavily advised on how to edit, but I'm shit at it. So yeah, podcasting must be a lot easier.
Oh fuck!
Except the only
I don't even edit our podcast. Like,
yeah, the only problem I have is like the stuff that I'm doing at the moment is because of how I'm framing it, it has to be done properly. And I would be afraid that if I went live, I suppose it's a little bit of imposter syndrome, but if I went live, the issue is not being able to stay on track and not being able to put over the really complicated ideas of sociology and of society in general that you
Crap,
always
to hear.
think when
You're
What?
grand. You're grand. Irish accent. Stephen pulls it off. I pull it off. I'm rude. He doesn't have a clue what's going on. You're grand.
yeah, I mean the
What do you mean
I've
I don't have
gotten-
a clue what's
I've-
going on?
It literally took you 15 seconds to actually have a retort to that. You just proved my point. Okay? Back to Crafty.
No, hang on. That was just the
Oh,
last
that's
one
too
because
fucking
you only
funny.
said that it was a not safe for work one, but that includes a lot of topics. I didn't know we were going to be talking about bondage.
Oh,
and
now
shit,
you're
right?
all nervous about the sex talk. Look, I'm
I'm
just
just saying
pointing
that
out the
was one
No,
stream.
you're all
that's all.
defensive. No, you're just proving my point. You're all defensive. So.
part of the problem is a lot of people, if you go live, it's going to be a lot longer. I mean, I usually go live for about an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah.
One of my live streams recently went on for 4 hours, which
Yeah.
is
Happens.
batshit crazy. And very easily to do, apparently.
Yeah, I
but
mean, like,
whereas
that's kind
with
of
the
like
content,
somewhat.
Stephen, sorry, Crafty is speaking. Sorry, Crafty. What
but
were you
with the content, people will watch about 15 to 20 minutes. And when you want to get over that amount of detail,
Yeah.
from a very serious perspective, in a lighthearted, well, not lighthearted way, but in a direct way, live streams and podcasts is not always the best vector. So making actual content. I mean, one of my videos was on education and the idea that education is a lie and everything else. We always hear from various sections of conspiracy theorists, and that originally was about 40 minutes long. And I had to condense it down to 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes. It was hard, but it was one of my most successful videos because it was only 15, 20 minutes. All of this huge bulk of work in a non-threatening way because it was only 15 minutes.
Vice Rhino does a very good approach to that there. He would announce, I'm doing a series and call it part 1, part 2, and part 3. And just literally split his hour-long video into 3. As long as it's announced and it's expected, make a playlist with it. It's good to do it that way as well. 'Cause sometimes it does take time to put this information across. Like,
yeah, you know who does that well is Aaron. Yeah. Aaron does that well as well too.
Yeah, he does. I just don't know how to edit, and I don't ever care to learn how to edit. I just find live streaming just to be so much easier.
I know.
You just kind of get like your kind of points kind of somewhat gathered, and you just
see the good thing about it.
Go live, and then you're done.
There's a 15-minute part of the Dark Matter 2525 interview I have where he breaks down why he did Power Corrupts, and Power Corrupts being what it is. That 15-20 minutes, it's sitting there edited. I'm just waiting for the 1K. I'm going to bring all the new people in and keep all the new people happy with all these edited videos. I've got Iron Ra. I've got all these 15-20 minutes is what people want. That is sort of, as Crafty points out, the sweet spot. It's what people watch, their attention span. And if they enjoy that, make sure the link for the full videos first line.
Yeah.
Because they're fucking lazy and they won't look for it.
Well, I'm doing a new series. I'm doing a new series in the new year on more sociological topics, like the proper why. It's more why are issues, and the kind of historical context. So it's going to be like 25 minutes of an introductory video, and then a kind of discussion afterwards. So Conspiracy Cats is going to be on it, for instance, Vishanti and a few other creators in the debunking scene. So yeah, it's going to be open to that. So
Conspiracy
Definitely.
Cats is really good crack, and I have a recording on just saved on the computer that's not because he was all welcome to the Math Big channel. Come watch the Math Big channel, and yeah, I had him muted for the whole fucking time. It's just him waving his arms about in the air.
Yeah, he's a very good friend of mine. The guy is brilliant.
Yeah. How did the him and Creaky debate turn out?
Do you know, I still haven't watched it. It went very well from what I've heard, but I was in work when it was happening. And I went shopping yesterday because Christmas clothes and everything else. It was my only day to actually do it. So I still have a lot of catching up to do. And
that's another thing with live videos, right? Is you miss the live video that's 2 hours long, that's 3 hours long. I can't remember. Yeah, somebody in the community actually did I think it was Not Your Witness about 6 months ago, did a fucking video that was like 8.5 hours long.
Jesus
you know, I was like, oh, I jumped in the morning when I woke up to go to work. And I was like, oh, I'll watch back later. No, you won't. This shit's been going 6.5 hours, 7 hours. I'm like, oh, fuck that. You know,
yeah, it's quite intimidating.
You know, there is that instant in the middle of that 8 hours where everybody has smoked the right amount of weed and had just the right amount of beer, where they're all just talking absolute clarity.
Also,
and there's that 20 minutes, 30 minutes that people will watch.
Yeah, and there's the
yeah, I think the
there's
most
the
that
fun
we
of
streamed for was like what?
part of
4 hours on the old channel.
Yeah, 4 hours on the old channel, I think, was the most that we streamed for.
Wow.
Part of the fun of the live streams is being there to interact with people.
Yes.
If you're not interacting with the chat with the stream, the desire to actually watch the live stream completely obliterates. Although I've already gotten messages from about 20 people who missed my live stream yesterday, half of which was just people sending me their dog pictures. And they start sending me their animal pictures, which is completely random but brilliant.
You see, that's why I put the chat on screen, you know, to a certain point, because it is nice for the people that are in the chat for them to see the interaction that you can see on screen. Plus, if you edit it as well, you don't have to worry about taking the live chat with you, because that particular part is actually on the screen as well.
I think the longest we've ever gone with a podcast is approaching 2 hours. And that was actually recently. I had a Twitter interaction with a guy named fuck was his name? George, I think it was. And he was going on about some stuff, and I started talking with him. I'm like, fuck this. Why don't you just come on the podcast? William, isn't it? William George Peter. If you see him on Twitter, avoid him like the plague. Unless you want to have some fun with him, but I think you have to be careful because his whole thing. He came on the podcast and he's like, I asked him what his stance was and stuff like that, and he told me what his stance was. I'm like, oh, so you believe? He's like, no, he's not. He's not a believer. He's a witness. So apparently there are tiers. So he started out, and it'll take everybody about a nanosecond to figure out where this is going. He started out as a believer. And now he's a witness. And he couldn't understand when I said, what do you mean you started as a believer? What do you mean you started with your conclusion? He didn't understand that. But now he's a witness. And because he's a witness of the Holy Spirit, he can't be hurt. Yeah. So that was interesting.
In any way, or?
Yeah, like bullets can't hurt him. COVID can't hurt him.
Yeah.
Oh, that hurts. That's
Right.
stupid.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
You're really smart enough not to put it to the test.
Well, and that's the problem was, and he said, well, you know, you can test this. And I said, you have to give me something to test. He's like, you can test this. I'm like, no, what you've asked me to do is you've given me a way to test this that is so completely immoral and wrong for me to do that I can't actually test it. You know, I said, if you were in front of me, you know, standing in front of me, I said, I could kick the ever-loving shit out of you. But that isn't like, unless you had some kind of black belt or something like that. But in order for me to test your theory, you're asking me to do something that I can't do, that no one would want to do.
Yeah.
And I said, my hope is that you never find someone to test your theory. Like, don't ever come to the States. like, or, go to the U.S. and you might find someone to take you up on your offer.
Yeah, I mean, the sad thing is that he probably will.
Yeah, he might.
Yeah.
Well, no, he wanted us. He wanted Dean and I to organize an atheist conference and invite. This is the list he gave me. He said you have to invite Bart Ehrman, Matt Dillahunty, Lawrence Krauss, Richard Dawkins, and I'm like, yeah, because I can just fucking I've got all their phone numbers. I'll just get them on the.
Yeah, you could just
and
that on speed dial.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. They're all in my Skype list. They're all my friends. And so he says to me, he's like, do this. He said, and then then I'll come over so I can talk to all these people. And I'm like, you're asking me to put together a conference with these people so you can sit there and tell them all of your bullshit. And he's like, yeah. But it's not. But it's totally not bullshit. Yeah. So I was enough of a glutton.
No, I mean, it couldn't possibly be bullshit. It couldn't possibly.
Oh, no. Not when you start out with your conclusion, don't you know?
And the second time, was he not a little bit, like pissed at you that you didn't, invite Matt Dillahunty, Richard Dawkins, all these guys, to come and witness his bullshit? Was he not a little bit peeved about that? No?
No. Well, he might have been, but it's funny because I was a little punch drunk for the second one, and so towards the end of it, I started having fun with him. And because he's from India, so there's a little bit of a language barrier, which I, in very poor taste, took advantage of. So he started saying, that he would. He said now that God is inside me, and as he's saying this, he's like, because God is inside me, I'm like, did it hurt? And it just
that was the first thing that came to my mind as well.
Yeah, it's the first thing that came to mind. Yeah.
I'm like, did it hurt? Did he pull your hair
first?
Yeah, exactly. Did he pull your hair? Did he give you a reach around? And he didn't pick up on those things because it was just a little too quick for him because of the language barrier. And then he sent me a Twitter message afterwards, kind of bitching me out about it, which was fair, right? Because I was a bit of a dick about it. But I put up with his shit we put up with his shit for 2 episodes, almost 4 hours in total. I'd recommend going back and listening to that because it's kind of fun.
Yeah. It's like, look, like I definitely, for one, I'm not gonna pass judgment on anybody kind of like making like those types of like jokes or like taking advantage of someone's kind of broken English. My workplace is 50% Irish staff and 50% like of all different types of like all different countries. It's not just like one, but yeah. So like obviously there's going to be like an amount of broken English that's in the story. Yeah, no, I take the piss out of it all the time. But I mean, like I also kind of use it to. So like I only use it if they get the joke, right? So just for example, right, I was going back and forth with one of the guys from work, and it was just banter, right? There wasn't any kind of like like harsh feelings or anything. It was just banter, and he turned to me and he was like, "Oh, is it because I'm Polish? Is it because I'm Polish? Is it because I'm Polish?" And I was like, "No, it's not because you're Polish. It's because you're a fucking idiot," right? That kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Like, but I'll only do that if they get the joke and they kind of know that it's all in good taste sort of thing. I want but it's fun to fuck with people. I like doing it.
Yeah.
I think that's Irish. Yeah, that's just the Irish in you.
Did you notice in the chat?
It is.
We need a Scot. So anyone that knows a Scot, we need a Scot. Apparently.
Technically, I'm an Ulster Scot.
So I'm actually Scottish Welsh, but I was born in Canada, so probably.
I can do a Scottish accent if that counts.
Why do we need somebody named Scott here?
Fuck you.
I'm cringing my face off like.
Yeah.
Don't pulling on the fucking wires. They're in my ears. Sorry.
Is it just to roll the R's? Is that what it's for? Like, is that all it's for? Have someone Scottish in here?
I'm assuming.
Make up the English, many Irish, any Welsh. I'm trying to think, are we making up the British Isles here? Or?
Yeah, I was just going to say,
Yeah.
like, are we doing kind of, like that one area of the map? Yeah.
Well, it's funny. I talk to a lot of people sometimes, and because I'm only first generation Canadian. My mom was born in Wales, and my dad was born in Canada. And when I tell people that, they kind of, I've had some people cock their heads like, really? I'm like, yeah, I'm only first generation Canadian, and it's interesting sometimes because I what's that line? If I was any more white, I'd be clear. So it's funny sometimes to talk to people about that. Where's
Cassie?
Yeah, where's everybody else in the world from? Like, well, I know where Math Pig and is
Northern Ireland.
I'm as good as Welsh.
Northern Ireland.
Yeah, I'm as good as Welsh.
Oh,
I can see Wales out the
He
window.
is a fucking Scouser. He's just a good accent.
Oh, okay. And Leo Phyllis, where are you from?
Midwestern United States.
Midwestern, like Iowa.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've driven through it. That's about it.
Not much here. Cornfields and conservatives. That's about it.
Cornfields and conservatives.
Nice.
Cornfields, conservatives, and you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm that important to the state. Gotta specify that I live here.
Wow. So what's going to happen January?
On the way in.
What's up?
What's going to happen January 5th with those two runoff seats?
I hope Ossoff and Warnock win, but who knows?
Yeah, I think Trumpelstiltskin has done enough to disenfranchise just about everybody. So my hope is it's going to be a bloodbath. My realistic hope is it's going to be close, but I think they're going to pull it off.
Yeah, so that's kind of what I'm going for too. Get a little bit of hopium in my veins.
Yeah, exactly. Mainline that shit.
Yeah.
And that what'll be great with that is that Mitch McConnell will just have to sit there while Kamala Harris comes in and breaks every time.
Exactly.
It'll be spectacular.
And that's what I want to see. I don't want Mitch fucking McConnell, little bitch McConnell, to be the Senate Majority Leader. I just don't. He's just so bad.
They said there's something like 395 bills that are sitting on their desk that he won't bring to vote.
Mm-hmm.
He just won't bring it. She's like, no, I'm in charge. No, you're not voting on this.
All he did was obstruct Obama's last, 2010 to.
Yeah. It's ironic that someone so conservative would be such a cockblock.
Mm-hmm. Well, I saw him on an interview. God.
Why is that ironic?
What?
I would have expected that.
Well,
Why is that ironic? I would have expected that.
Because I didn't think you want to be that close to any cock.
All right, okay.
Touche.
No, asked and answered.
Yeah, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
So Crafty, do you work in your field?
Not at the moment, actually. I work in a warehouse at the moment, so great fun. It's good. It's good distraction having worked for so long with thinking about a million different things. It's nice to actually just get onto a computer and just type some numbers and away the parcel goes. Bye bye.
Did you used to work in the field?
I did.
Holy fuck! Sorry.
I've literally I've helped run a farm for 7 years. So yeah, I have worked in a field. And I've worked in my field too. I've worked in politics, and I've worked in social care and stuff like that.
What's your dream job?
I don't know that I have one. And if I did, I probably would ruin it. I know I'm a pessimist. Joking. Yeah, I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
Like, are you an undergrad? Do you have a master's? What's your
Master's?
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that took a long time to get, but
yeah.
Then I went off to a farm for 7 years. So
would you ever want to teach?
I've no really given serious attention to the idea, although people say I should. But I probably would go traveling again because I traveled a little bit with trade unions and UN stuff and stuff like that. So I might do that again. But at the moment, I'm enjoying just not having to think. I go in, I put my headphones on, listen to music all day or listen to books all day and just chill. It's refreshing.
Oh no, it's marvelous. Yeah, I like I said, my formal education is in social work. I did when Rib and I were doing our debates and stuff like that. We got chatting. I ran a group home for a bunch of years, and now it's glorious to just kind of put my head down. Yeah, I'm a public servant now, so I don't use the education that I have, but just put my head down, do my job, and when I go home, the place could burn to the ground for all I care.
Well, yeah, I mean, while on the farm, I was still engaging in community activism and social care and stuff like that. I was on a campaign or a board to protect the local hospital and stuff like that. So I was still active in that field, but I just and I write a lot. But other than that, I haven't really done much with my education, and that's why making the videos is so much fun because I get to bring the kind of what's considered soft science to the hard science, and to have been supported by a lot of scientists and a lot of teachers with those videos. It has been fantastic. So I'm just enjoying what I'm doing at the moment.
Sorry.
So you brought up something interesting that I want to kind of take a little slant on. So in British Columbia, they have this thing going on right now, and I'm trying to arrange talking to the person who's actually involved in this. There's a hospice in British Columbia right now that is, and they're trying to have the board taken over by Christians so that they can stop any type of assisted dying that they have going on there.
Oh,
What?
Yeah, and like I'm very much I'm of the mind that if you have the right to live, you also have the right to not live.
Exactly.
Yep.
Forced living. It's horrific.
Nobody
And-
asked to be born.
Yeah,
Thank you.
and so they right
I
now
did in my previous life.
yeah, they have this whole thing going on right now where you can for $10 you can go online and you can join the board to get a vote. So they've been trying to ram through as many Christians as possible to try to overload it so that they can turn it into basically a Christian focused facility.
Yep.
And take away the hospice part of it, or still have it like hospice, but more like Calcutta with Mother Teresa, where you just lie there in misery and agony till you died of natural causes.
Of course.
So anyway,
That's
I don't know where I was
Yeah, I
going
mean,
with that.
in Ireland we have a similar issue because we don't have assisted suicide, and there's bills going through our parliament at the moment that has been held up constantly by the right wing to allow for assisted suicide. And you see all of these people coming out of the work. Stephen will know them, the Iona Institute and people like that, who are actively trying to say, natural life to natural death. A lot of our existence is not natural.
Mhm.
We have shaped nature around us in order to survive as a species. There is not much about our existence right now in the 21st century that is considered natural.
Yeah, I'm
so
sure
the
most,
idea,
if not all, got into a car today. That's not natural.
yeah. So the idea that you can't choose and you don't have power over your quality of life is absolutely horrendous. And
The worst thing is, though, they're making this argument based on the idea that most people might want to kill themselves. But we're not. Most cases, it's half a dozen days. It's a week where it gets that bad. If you spend any time in a hospice and you see these people deteriorate, and they just want it to end, and again,
see. What their argument, and Michael will probably speak to it a bit more. Their argument isn't just suicide. It's the idea that people, especially with disability or like really severe terminal illness, who has a chance but don't really, will be
No, I
forced.
agree with you completely. But my point is they are depriving the majority, but for the mostly outlier cases.
Yes, but that's the thing.
I
There's this
don't know of
perception.
anybody. I don't know of anybody that would go into a hospice in that state, choose to live a day longer than they would want to, and for the sake of basically everyone having a more comfortable death, they're worried about the people that are that are more likely that could potentially live for another couple of years, but would like to go out on their own terms now.
Yeah, I mean the problem with it is their arguments, not mine. Their argument is that if you legalize it, if you promote it at all, that it will pressure elderly people, disabled people, people with illness, not terminal illness, but severe illness like Parkinson's or whatever. It'll pressure them because their families don't want to look after them or whatever. Now, my argument is no family, no human being should be forced to look after another human being. That should be a choice. And a lot of us, because I was a carer for the last 7 years, a lot of us take up those roles. And those roles will be taken up by people who want to do them, not out of obligation. And they shouldn't be out of obligation
this
because
is where the state should be stepping in. These are the roles the state should be stepping. If they don't want people to be forced to be obligated to kill themselves. And I do understand that there is a risk there. I don't think it's a big risk, but I understand there is a risk.
It's not.
Yeah, and there are so many safeguards in place. I mean, you can't just walk in there and say, "Fuck, man, I lost my job today. Where's the needle?" It's like there's a whole process that you have to go through. There's a waiting period, and right up until the time, like they have to determine cognitive abilities. And things like that. So there's all this criteria, and you're 100% right. One of the things that's so frustrating about it being here in Canada is that we have all these socialized programs already set up. Like the socialized medicine is totally a thing. Nobody's going to pressure anyone into making this type of decision, because if there isn't a caregiver, then the province just moves in and says, okay, well, we'll take care of this person. Period.
I think it's more for me. It's more of a contempt for ordinary people, that they don't actually believe that family members will safeguard their loved ones and push them towards assisted suicide. It's actually contempt for ordinary people, taking that decision out of their hands and out of people themselves who are making these decisions out of their hands. Is basically saying you're too infantile to make this decision.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I had we had a situation like that in our family in real life. My mother, she got to the point she died of cancer 9 years ago, and she took the decision out of our hands, out of her children's hands, and she said, "These are my wishes."
Mm-hmm.
And much to our dismay, we're like, but there's these things you could do. She had lost the will to live. So she didn't seek treatment when her from diagnosis to death was only 5 weeks. So she was just like, no, I'm not interested in this. She believed that she was going to go be with my dad. And so that was it for her. And unlike what you were saying, Crafty, with the whole, like not wanting to take care of people, this was the opposite. These are my wishes. And now you guys, you're as my children, you're going to follow my wishes.
Yeah.
And although it was incredibly difficult, there was also a part of it that was easy because we didn't have to anguish over those or languish over those decisions because she made them for us.
Exactly. And that needs to be respected. Unfortunately, it's not. And hopefully here in Ireland, we will get the assisted suicide bill through. But the right-wing lobbyists, the religious lobbyists are really coming out in force because here they've lost the debate on marriage equality. They've lost the case on abortion. Now they're going after assisted suicide and trying to prevent that from coming in. So that's where we're at the moment.
Does Ireland have the death penalty?
Nope.
Okay, yeah, and neither does Canada. And one of the things that I find ironic is that that some places that will say, only God can decide, also don't seem to have a problem with
with that penalty. Yeah.
using state power to execute people.
Exactly. Ironic. Ironic.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not
Yeah, it's
ironic
why-
at all
I
when you
mean,
think
like-
about it, because it's about control. It is all about control.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, even Michael, like just a little bit of a flashback to our last tag team debate on MDD, where Icky Taint said that that he doesn't support abortion, but he does support the death penalty. He's not pro-life; he's pro-birth.
He's pro-birth,
and that's what we kind of like. We need to start kind of like saying that more and pushing that a little bit more, because I mean, like, that is what they are. If you are in favor of the death penalty, then you are not pro-life, because pro-life is defined as as preserving the sanctity of life and keeping people alive as long as they can be alive, and like that, and like, that's a generalized thing.
Yeah. Anyone who is pro-life would also be pro-healthcare.
Yeah.
Yep.
100%.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
And pro every single solitary social program to increase longevity and quality of life.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not, then you're just it's like Christopher Hitchens used to say. It's like this cafeteria, right? You take the things you like and you leave the things you don't like.
Yeah.
I mean, I was very active on the Repeal the Eighth campaign, which it was a constitutional amendment brought in the 80s to make abortion illegal in Ireland. So I was involved in the recent campaign to repeal it. And during that campaign, and even before the campaign started, I stopped calling people pro-life or pro-birth and start calling them what they truly, truly are, which is anti-choice.
Yeah, I was just
They
about
are
to say.
against choices in healthcare. They are against choices in life. I will not give them the title that they want, which is pro-life, because that automatically insinuates that I'm against life, which I'm not.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So anti-choice covers a wide range, not just pro-birth, but a wide range of things, because part of it was choices in healthcare around births as well. Because the Eighth Amendment for us was covering natural birth versus cesarean. It was covering the right not to be cut during birth. It was covering home births as well. People were being brought into institutions when they wanted a home birth because it could endanger the life of the fetus. So it was more than just, and being against abortion is more than just being against abortion. It's being against choices in pregnancy. And
that's a big thing, is that no one wants the label anti-choice, because that makes you look like a shithead.
Yeah,
exactly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We won that argument, which is great.
Can I read a quote really quickly?
Sure.
I bring this quote out a lot. Some people here might have heard me say it before, but I think it's absolutely beautiful. And this is from Sister Joan Chittister, and she says, quote, "I do not believe that just because you're opposed to abortion that makes you pro-life. In fact, I think in many cases your morality is deeply lacking if all you want is a child born but not a child fed, not a child educated, not a child housed. And why would I think that you don't? Because you don't want any tax money to go there. That's not pro-life. That's pro-birth. We need a much broader conversation on what the morality of pro-life is."
Yeah.
I love that quote.
So do
I.
Can you link that in the chat? Did you have a way to link that?
I can't give you a link, but I can copy paste it for you.
That'd be great. I'll take a picture of it, because I'm going to use that one for sure. It's it is really interesting. And what I've said to people is, and it's hard as a man, right? Because what fucking right do I have anyway? But
exactly
I'll say to people, it's like, if you don't want an abortion, you totally shouldn't get one.
Yeah.
But if someone else does, why should you care?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't affect you at all. It has no effect on you whatsoever.
Unfortunately, the crap they come back at you with is, well, if someone is for men, one of the biggest things that I got, and I was down in West Cork when this was all happening, one of the most interesting anti-choicers came over to me and said, well, if there's a rapist and he rapes you, should I not want that rapist punished because it doesn't affect me?
What?
Wait, what?
Yeah.
None of that makes sense. None of that statement makes sense. I know that that's not your statement. You're just
His argument was that just because something doesn't affect you personally, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't have an interest in it or want to see justice in that particular thing, which is a good point. But it was wrongfully applied in this situation.
Oh,
Well, yeah,
Of
course,
analogy fallacy.
Yeah,
like
of course
I'm not
affects you.
yeah.
Like,
I'm not an expert in logic, but that sounds like a non sequitur to me.
False analogy
big time.
fallacy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. There you go.
But having
But I mean,
said
like,
that,
aside from anything else, I mean, if that was to happen to you or to anybody else, of course that would affect you. So he's not just wrong, but he's also stupid because
yeah, because all you have to do is have a little bit of empathy.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, you have a little bit of empathy.
Yeah.
You understand that it's going to affect other people.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know, next level stupid.
By the way, I did.
Oh, I could write a book on the amount of stupid statements that I've received in the last 15 years from being politically active.
Wow.
It's amazing.
You guys put that in a book. There you go.
Yeah. By the way, Michael, I did shoot that quote in the private chat here on stream.
I took a picture of it already. That's awesome. I'm going to use that for sure.
And anybody who wants like an actual reference to it, just Google Sister Joan Chittister abortion and it'll pop right up.
Yeah. No, it's a good one. That's a really good one.
I've carried this quote since I first found it, and I think the first time I read it was either 2014 or 2015.
Yeah, no, it's a fantastic quote because I mean,
it summarizes the whole problem with it.
Yeah,
it's never gonna. That quote is never gonna age out.
No.
It's just
the like kind of biggest problem. One of those types of things that I saw a little while ago was the fundamental problem with the predominantly religious right is that they care about you so much right up until you are born, then they don't care about you until you are 16, which is military age, and then they want you to go and fight and die for your country. So they don't care for 15 years. Yeah, George. Of course, how could that was where I got the name of my old YouTube channel. How did I not know it was George Carlin? But yeah. So, but I mean, like that's just it. That's the same thing. It's never going to age because it's just as true as the other one is. They don't give a fuck about you because they don't want you fed. They don't want you housed. They don't want you looked after. They don't want to expand social, safety nets. They don't want to do any of these things. They don't give a fuck about you for 15 years until your 16th birthday, and then they want to sign you up to go and fight and die for the country. That's it.
What's funny is,
and we just have a fundamental disagreement there.
Well, they do want you taken care of. It's just not their problem
because they want you to survive until you're 16, so that you can go and fight. Yeah.
It's I mean, and that's what's so funny is there's a lot of people that. So many, and it tends to be the religious right, although I don't think it's exclusively the religious right, that doesn't understand the nuance between socialism and communism.
Oh, they don't. The one thing that I can say about almost everyone I've ever met that is a conservative when it comes, especially mainly here in the United States, when it comes to socialism and communism, is none of them have read any fucking theory at all. That is the first fucking thing I can notice. If you haven't read the Communist Manifesto, I don't want to hear those two fucking words come out of your mouth.
And I mean, part of my issue when it comes to, as a sociologist, part of my issue when it comes to theoretical thinkers like Karl Marx, like Lenin, like even Weber, is that you read one aspect of the writing and then you think you know everything about the writer. The Communist Manifesto in all its glory is just the beginning of Marx's writing.
Oh yeah, Das Kapital is another really good one, and then Socialism, Utopian, and Scientific by Friedrich Engels is another really fucking good book.
Das Kapital was supposed to be 17 volumes long, and he just didn't live long enough to write them. And it was supposed to be a more in-depth, and you can already see the difference in his writing between the kind of idealism of the Communist Manifesto to Das Kapital, where it's clinically thought out. Now, whether or not it's right or wrong, that's up for debate. But the idea that if you've read a snippet, but a lot of them, as you so rightly say, a lot of them have only read what other people have said they wrote.
Because
They
we
haven't
cannot
actually
let them
read
read
the
it.
text.
At the end of the day, they have to portray it as something that is so bad, so the ideas are so dire. I mean, at the end of the day, you read most of Marx, and it's not. Most of it's not core. It's analysis. It's not.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. This is. It's not this evil. We're gonna overthrow capitalism. Ha 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 ha. Fucking dumb. It's
actually
why
analysis.
I say they've never read theory. I mean,
but it's contemporary analysis. It's analyzing the society as it was when it was being written.
Yes. Yes.
And part of the problem is that when you there's a couple people that I interact with regularly on social media, and they're constantly talking about how how bad socialism is and all these other, and, the market will decide and all these other things. And I've posed a few questions. I'm like, do you really, if you ever had to call 911, which is a socialized asset, do you ever want to ask, how much you charge for a service call? How about libraries? All of these things. So many people, and again, as I said, with the new ones, it's just lost. They don't understand all of these things that are already socialized. Yeah. It's already there. And I think Canada, I think Canada's socialized medicine cost is something in the neighborhood of, I think it's under $6,000 per person per year.
Yeah. The GDP one's the most interesting one on that. All socialized medicines, all socialized medical countries are spending less as a percentage of GDP.
Yeah, and then you look at the U.S. and you look at the U.S. for the cost of drugs and all these other things, but there's all these huge false narratives that have been going around for decades now.
Yes.
About look at all the Canadians, that cross the border for faster service. And while that is true in some cases, my father-in-law went to Seattle for a gamma knife procedure when he had a brain tumor, but that was only because 30 years ago, the technology was so new that was the only one in North America.
Yeah,
so that's why he went there.
Scenario.
That's why he went there, because it was the only fucking machine.
No, this is the problem. Between America and Germany, they have the best. They have the best in the world.
Sorry, Trump. What?
Sorry, Trump. What? No, as in healthcare. The best healthcare in the world is available in America and Germany. Okay,
so
it's not available for most people. Only a very small select people can get that healthcare.
Yep.
Whereas in all the other, where the majority of people get much better healthcare in virtually any other country. I
love that. I love that, Icarus.
So horrible.
I don't know if you've ever read it, Michael. I love audiobooks. Audible is other services are available.
I live on it.
I love Audible, and I'm rereading, I suppose, listening to again The Shock Doctrine by Naomi Klein. Have you ever read it?
I have not, but I'm writing it down as we speak.
It's just fantastic. It's when I first started getting active, I think she had just released it, and it goes through mainly Latin America and the influence of neoliberalism in Latin America in the 80s.
You know what? That relates to something that I heard the great socialist streamer Vosh say once, but it's fucking beautiful. And it relates to Icarus's comment that was up earlier. You know what they say, guys? Socialism works in principle, but in the real world, it gets taken out by a CIA coup.
Nice. Well, that's the thing. She goes through different situations and the formation of neoliberalism as a system. But one of the interesting aspects that she looks at was New Orleans after the hurricane. And she explains that before the hurricane, there was something like 137, I think it was 137 public schools. After the hurricane, there was 4. And
isn't Betsy DeVos taking care of that?
No. Not anymore. Not anymore.
Don't even
But
get me
it's the whole idea of privatization. If you privatize the markets, the
I'm
markets.
just turning the knife. I'm just
The
turning
great
knife.
thing is about socialism is you can have socialism without actually privatizing the markets. It's called
You can.
market socialism.
Yeah.
And that is what I am. I am a market socialist.
Well,
It's-
you know, they do. She talks about Friedman and the idea that when Katrina first hit, he said, you know, yes, it's a devastating tragedy, but it's also an opportunity. And when I read those words,
That's capitalism.
horrified me. It horrified
That
me.
literally is what capitalism is. Oh,
Yeah.
people are in need and suffering? I bet we can make some money, guys.
Exactly.
I mean,
Well, that's like after
It's-
9/11, and those companies tried to make parachutes that you could use to jump out of small, like short buildings. You
Yeah.
remember seeing these? It's like that's it. The whole thing is just Leo Phyllis, you said it perfectly. It's just capitalism, just trying to
Most
profiteer off of
recently-
somebody's misery and grief.
why I call capitalism feudalism for the modern age.
Nice.
Nice. So when are you
Well,
running
yeah.
for office?
Me running
Leo.
for office. Ooh, that's something
Get
I
it
don't
done.
think it ever
Get it
happened.
done.
Not my forte.
Can
I'll
you
stay
take-
I'll stay
can you
here on
take-
YouTube and talk about quantum mechanics.
Can you take a group of 30 people and not piss half of them off?
No, I
See,
can't.
but if I were to go into politics, honestly, I think that's why I could see myself winning is that I would just piss everybody off, but except for
Everyone
the
off.
voters. Except for the voters. All the politicians, I just pissed them off. And that's what needs
Pull
to
a
happen.
Trump and just talk over the opposition and not give them a chance to talk.
Excuse me.
Wrong.
You're
Wrong.
interrupting me. Michael, you're interrupting me.
Yeah.
You're interrupting me, sir.
Moderator.
My
I mean,
my
you could-
interlocutor was not
you could-
properly screened.
I was just going to
but-
say, I mean, you could get up on like any sort of a debate stage with like other people who you're running against, and literally just impersonate Darth Dawkins. Just be like, you know, scream for a moderator and shout at them not to overtalk you and all this sort of crap. I'm telling you, you'll
I'll
just bug the
I'll
shit out of them.
repeat
They'll
the
just
question
drop out.
again.
Well, I
Well,
mean,
apparently you didn't understand the question I asked, so let me reiterate this for you.
Exactly.
You didn't say reiterate properly, Leo. You said it incorrectly.
You know, when I was talking to James offline last week, I said I refrained from tossing out the, you didn't screen my interlocutor properly, and he giggled and stuff like that. And I said you know that Darth hate watches all of your videos, right? And he's like, do you think so? I'm like, yeah, he hate watches them all.
nice.
Like there's no doubt. There's no doubt he hate. It's like hate fucking. Like it's the same thing. he hate watches them all.
Yeah,
Huh.
yeah.
The same as he probably will like watches stuff like this.
I mean,
or other things. It's just like he sits there and then he goes back and he talks to his sycophants about how stupid we are.
Yeah.
Without having to engage with any of us because he can't.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's the same. It's
Well,
the same exact spiel over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I know that you were kind of being like somewhat facetious there, Michael, but I mean, like, Darth has been on the show before. We've had him on the show, like when we did the call-in show that I referenced like 8 or 9 times during the
which is why
debate
I'm
with,
sure
debate.
he hate watches your stuff.
Yeah, so but like I know that you kind of there's a plus 0% chance that like he's actually watching right now. So
I'm not saying
it's possible.
live.
It's possible.
I'm not saying live, but I would.
Oh,
I would
okay,
be
yeah,
willing
but
to bet.
after the fact, yeah.
I'd be willing to bet that he goes back and he looks at these things just to pick out a couple little arguments, and he probably puts a clip together. And yeah,
There is actually a clip that I do want to show you guys. If I can get the fucking link copied. It is a Darth document. It wasn't really a debate. It was a discussion. And it was between him and Ask Yourself, if you know what that is. And I have to say, this is literally the best performance I have ever seen Darth Dawkins give. But the thing that Ask Yourself did is he talked to Darth Dawkins in Darth Dawkins language, essentially. And it was really capable of opening up Dawkins' worldview. And watch it. If you want to learn about Darth Dawkins and why he believes what he believes, watch that fucking video. It's only about 50 minutes long. He opens him up like a fucking soup can. Just by talking to him in his own language, and
You'll
you'll
say
see
that Kevin, the second time that he was On.
No, just following from what Michael said about how he hate watches some of the stuff that is anti him.
I'm certain he does.
Yeah, it was one like the first time we had him on, and we weren't aware of his shtick, but we kind of tweaked it towards the end, like because he just kind of bombs. And then we were just having a normal call-in show about something else altogether, and we just mentioned his name a couple times. It was like Beetlejuice. We mentioned his name a few too many times, and he fucking turned up. Like he actually turned up and wanted to call in.
The thing is, a lot of people that lounge around in some of these YouTube channels of atheists are in his Discord server, and he's got people pinging him anytime somebody's doing something on him, pretty much.
Yeah. I have no doubt of stuff like that. And it's funny because I have no problem. I love talking to believers of all different kinds. And whenever I mention Darth Dawkins, I'll say, it's like, oh, people, how can you have a conversation with him? And there's a difference between like Darth Dawkins, Kent Hovind, people like that. I am convinced that they know that they're lying.
Nathan Thompson.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whereas we also we had a conversation with Cider Bruggencate, where he actually came in studio because he's only about 2 hours from where we are, and we were going to do something on MDD. Actually, first we were going to do something on Non Sequitur before that all fell to shit. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I don't want to do it online anymore. You guys are close by. Either I'll come to you or you come to me. So he came to my house and he sat here and we had a conversation. And I've said this before, but Sai is wrong. But I don't think Sai's lying.
Yeah.
Versus people like Darth who they know they're fucking lying. They know it.
Yeah.
They do it for the pleasure.
Somebody who's just has an opinion that might not agree with your own and might be factually incorrect, and an active troll who just fucking just does it for. I'm not sure what his motives are at this stage, to be perfectly honest.
Who, Darth?
Darth, yeah.
I could say that his motives are just to try to be a badass on the internet because he's just probably a bald, lazy, fat fucker who lives in his dead mom's basement.
Well, I actually published a video. It was the first video that was published to this new channel.
Yeah.
There was a Discord group that was kind of like talking about like the type of person Darth was, and just to kind of go over it like very, very briefly. Basically, there's allegations that he cheated on his wife. So nice Christian morals there, because I know that he's faking. That he is estranged from his kids. He has a 2-year-old grandson that he's never met. He was cut out of family photos. Like all this type of shit, and it's just like, and yes, like there's been kind of like allegations that he does actually live in his mother's basement. I know that's kind of like whatever, but that's what the report. I can't say that that's 100% true, but that's just what
that allegedly. That sounds correct. That does sound correct though. About him, like,
but I mean. If like people ask him, like about himself, he says that he doesn't want to talk about his own personal life, which look, I understand to a degree. You know what I mean? You don't ever want to like give away too much of your personal life in case you're like doxing yourself, which by the way he did. That's why I know that his name is Gary Milne. But you don't want to give away too much about yourself, and so like I can kind of understand. But I mean, he's always on Discord. He's always there. He's always active. So he's probably not working, or if he does, he works from home.
I don't think he works.
I don't jumps on Discord. But the point is that like in a sort of a weird way, I kind of feel sorry for him because I mean, like if he does live in his mother's basement, I mean, like he's not working. He's not getting any real sort of fulfillment in life. All he does all day is just bitch and whine and moan at people online. It's a sad existence. Now, I would say that if Darth wasn't a detestable human being who has said some of the most awful and horrendous things that I've ever heard anybody say. So, it's a little bit of... Yeah. Two sides there.
I don't think it's wrong that you might get a little bit of Schadenfreude from that.
But God bless him.
A little bit of what? Sorry?
Schadenfreude.
Who shat on Freud?
Nice. I think only Crafty can tell us that.
No, it's a secret.
It's a secret. Oh, okay. It's like guilty
Not
pleasure.
like-
It's
not
like guilty
embarrassed
pleasure.
on
Guilty
behalf of someone else or something.
yeah.
Sorry, just to explain, I'm muted because I have Pringles. It's a simple thing.
Oh, I wish I had Pringles. I love Pringles now.
You're supposed to share.
They taste like
Oh, I have
cardboard.
potatoes downstairs. We can have them. Yeah.
We won't right now for the
Well, yeah,
consideration
obviously
of the
not
night.
right now.
No.
But I'm just saying I have potatoes.
Potatoes
Michael,
are not-
Leo,
potatoes
and Dave, you guys have never had potatoes. Oh, that's
Potatoes.
What
Ta-
potatoes? I've never had potatoes.
no. Potatoes, not potatoes. Potatoes.
Just,
Well,
I want to pause it.
Steven,
Leo,
just point out.
were you getting very? Did you think we were getting excited over potatoes downstairs?
Yes, I did. Yeah, I did.
No.
Oh my
Steven,
god!
technically, have you actually
Irish.
had Tato? Have you had Tato? Have
Who?
you had yes, have you had Tandra Gee Tato?
Oh yeah. You were saying this to me before. Apparently, there's a difference between Northern Ireland potato and
There is.
Southern
Yes,
Ireland.
I-
They're
You
free
hear about
potatoes.
this, Crafty, right? There's that much of a difference, and people say the cheese and onion South Tato is better than the cheese and onion North Tato. And a guy in England drove like 4 boxes of this shit over to England and sold it in his shop, and he was done for transporting untaxed goods.
Yeah,
I don't know
I'll
why,
give
but
you
this
a laugh.
conversation is in some way racist.
Right, I'll give you a laugh. Right?
Potato. Now it's racist.
No, wait for it. Right, I have a friend who worked on a ship, and it was transporting something from the Isle of Wight up to Scotland, and they would do this like twice a day or 3 times a day or whatever. So 6 runs. The captain and my friend were the only Irish people on board, and so they would stop in Liverpool every so often. And once they went into Liverpool, and my friend got potato and whatever. Gave a packet to the big bags, the 6-pack or whatever.
Oh,
Gave one to the captain, and they tasted meldy. So they actually stopped on the way back in Dublin port just to get some real tato.
Bullshit. Some bullshit.
That's
Can I ask you a
dedication.
question, Crafty? Can you say moldy again?
Don't do it. Don't
Oh,
pander.
moldy?
Don't pander.
I didn't hear that.
Don't pander.
I pandered before. It's okay. I get it.
The
I
first
get it.
time you said it, it sounded like meldy.
The
Yeah,
real
melody.
Tato is
Yeah, melody.
the real Tato is like 3 or 4 miles from me. It's in a castle, man. It's
Can I-
cooked in a castle.
Can I just explain this? There's a difference between moldy and meldy. Moldy is something that actually has mold in it. Meldy is something that just tastes foul.
Okay.
Yeah. Just tastes a bit off.
Yeah.
A bit manky.
Manky, I like that one.
I just wanna say that I am as an Irish person, I am so deeply and humbly proud of the fact that we have dedicated 5 minutes of this stream to talking about crisps. I just want to point that out.
Not any crisps.
Now,
not
you
any
see, you have
crisps, not any
you have
crisps.
to clarify again for the fucking American
What the
audience.
fuck is a crisp?
See,
For the Americans, it's
chips.
It's
Hey,
like
hey.
chips, but they're fine chips.
I've been very nice to you, Crafty. I'm Canadian, not American.
Yeah,
They
I
are
was gonna say.
American, and the audience, a lot of the audience would be American. Apologies, Michael. It's
Steven,
just
whenever I
fine.
come down
fine
to
chips.
do that thing that we were talking about with the filming and stuff, I am bringing you a 6-pack of multiple flavors of Northern Tato. Cheese and onion and the
They
salt.
come-
and pepper
of course, to cater to the drunkenness of Ireland, they come in
Smoky
6
bacon. Man, if you get yourself a fucking share pack of the Northern Tato smoky bacon with a pint of milk, you are in heaven. Like.
The only reason, Michael, why they like come like that is because nothing appeals more to the Irish soul than a 6-pack.
Well,
If
exactly.
something
that's what I'm
comes
saying.
in packs of 6, there's nothing like beer, potatoes, fucking like anything. Like if it just there's just
I
nothing more
don't
than
get the
it
6-pack. I get the 12 packs.
Oh,
12?
No.
You don't get 20, you don't get. Wait, did they not sell 24s there?
I got a whole slab of potatoes.
Do you guys have cases of beer, like 24 packs and 30 packs?
We have
Yeah.
cases. Yeah, we also have cases of Tato. I actually have
Yeah.
So I still have not been told what the fuck a Tato is.
Tato is like a potato chip, but it's a very fine potato chip.
Yeah,
And
but it's so weird because like
really good
have
or
to
what?
Google it.
so we call them so we call them crisps. You guys call them chips, but we call chips fries. So it's like you want to talk about a language barrier. Like
And the other big thing, the other big language barrier is cookies are biscuits, but not all biscuits are cookies.
Yes.
yes, exactly.
I prefer the
Now,
funny
is
on
it Jaffa cake a biscuit or a cake? That's the real.
Okay, so what's okay?
A Jaffa cake is a cake. A Jaffa cake is a cake.
Wait a
Because, and I
minute.
only
A
Well, it's a
Jaffa-
cake right in the biscuit section.
Because when it goes off, when it goes stale, it goes hard as opposed to going soft.
Yeah. But I also knew that before that because this genuinely happened. One of my friends, right, lost or was losing a bet on whether Jaffa cakes were cakes or biscuits. So he emailed Jaffa cakes.
What?
Nice.
He emailed Jaffa cakes and asked them if they were cakes or biscuits, right? But he made it funny. He messaged in and he was like that he's been having this argument with his dog for the last 6 hours, and his dog was just looking at him like, and it's just very confused, and now the whole situation is just the whole relationship is breaking down, and he has to sort this out. And they basically just emailed him back, and they were like, "Yeah, no, Jaffa cakes are cakes, in fact, not biscuits." So,
And it's the fact. Here's the thing: Jaffa cakes have cake in the name. The only problem is they put it in the biscuit aisle.
Because
yeah,
biscuit
it's
shop.
just confusing everybody. It's confusing everybody.
Should be down with the Mr.
And we sell them-
Kiplings.
And they sell them by the yard as well. I'm not comfortable with cakes you can buy by the yard. That's just not a unit of measurement I want.
Do you know why it's kind of a big argument?
Why do they go in the yard?
They do. That's the image Christmas.
No, of course I've seen them, but just why?
You know what I'm saying? It's wrong.
Okay, so here's a question. Pop or soda?
Soda.
Fizzy drink.
Mineral.
Fizzy drink. Yeah,
Mineral.
fizzy drink or mineral. Yeah, I
The
don't
only
know.
correct answer is soda.
No, minerals.
You guys are all
Have
soda.
I forced someone into eating crisps?
Yeah, it's pop up there in Canada. Eh?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I know that really hurt my feelings. I'll go get them checked for free at the doctor. Yeah, it's wow. Yeah, that's one that always fucks with me. The difference of pop and soda and stuff like that. What did you call them? Soft
drinks, minerals.
I've heard soft drinks. Like there's a soft drink, fizzy drink.
Yeah,
fizzy drink. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just descriptive of what it is. It's a drink and it's fizzy.
It fizzes.
I mean,
it's liquid and you drink it.
It's different from juices.
Yeah, because a juice is just not fizzy. So yeah, you have to categorize these things.
Okay, so is iced tea juice? Is iced tea juice?
Yes.
What?
It's iced tea.
Cold tea is juice.
Hold on.
Juice needs to be derived from fruit.
We don't have cold tea.
Michael,
not based on the criteria you just said, though. You said fizzy versus flat.
Did you just say cold tea?
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah, it's cold tea.
You just said cold tea.
That's a horrible image.
You want to get stabbed?
Right.
There's no such thing as cold tea.
That's an abomination.
Cold tea is to the Brits what cold coffee is to Americans.
I don't drink coffee, so I wouldn't know. I don't drink tea either.
It's an abomination, essentially.
It doesn't really fit anywhere, but the closest it could fit is juice.
You think so? Okay, interesting.
Wrong.
That's the closest, but it's not juice. It's not juice.
No, it's not juice.
Oh. Tea is derived from leaf, and a leaf is not the fruit of the tea tree.
Excuse me, half the juice drinks on the counter have never seen in the section.
But they at least pretend to.
I suppose, yeah.
They have it in the title.
They make the effort.
So something for the Americans in the chat then. Ford or Chevy?
Ford.
Yeah, I mean Ford. I mean, like we don't. You know.
Chevrolet's not really big over here.
No, not really.
Ford's ubiquitous.
There's only one thing I would ever buy that's manufactured by GM, and I have absolutely not the money to buy it nor a place to put it, and that's an EMD fucking diesel locomotive.
Where to put it? That's his problem.
I
I can't find a parking spot for my train.
Nah,
And
Steven,
the funny thing is, GE makes better locomotives than GM, or EMD, which is owned by GM, does, because GM doesn't make fucking anything good.
That's
nah,
true.
Fiat for Steven.
Wait, what?
Fiat for you.
Fiat for me?
Yeah.
Someone just suggest a Fiat as a good car.
For Steven, yeah.
Oh crap!
Why would
You
that be a good
evil
car for me?
You evil.
I can't decide whether I was just insulted or not.
There's like no, there's only two good. No,
I didn't know that Stephen was coming out tonight.
Nice.
After the not safe for work stream, I don't know what the man's gonna think. Like, you know, he was shocked. Did you see it?
Florida just been sold around the place.
I was going to ask the next question. I was going to ask was,
tonight. It's my fucking stream. Like, what the shit is going on? I'm getting bullied on my own stream. That is what's happening.
Can I point out something? Can I point out something? Right?
Go ahead.
No.
I have 9 subscribers from 1,000.
Oh shit!
Right.
Everybody that is watching this right now, if you have not, I'm going to post it into the live chat. I'm going to post MathPig's link because
there's 8 people watching.
There is 8 people watching. That's only going to leave one of us.
That 7 of them are subscribed already.
One of my subscribers actually posted on my thing, on my community tab that I put up. 10 more, please. So that was like 2 more before that. So people are reading my post. Yay.
Where did you post this post?
On my community tab. I asked people
to get a PS5.
I asked people to subscribe to MathPig and the Plot Hole, who is 50
is your community tab on?
See, when you go to her channel, you click community tab.
Wait, what?
People have to be subscribed to me first. Haha.
Community tab. Where? What? You have to have like a certain amount of subscribers to get this or something?
1,000 for a community tab.
No, you can just go to my YouTube.
But discussion just as unless people lock their community tab doesn't. 8 more community tab doesn't. A community tab.
Oh, I know what a community tab is. It's like the little posts you can make.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to have 1,000 subscribers for those.
Yeah, I have 1,400.
Hey, Steven.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Who'd you have to fuck to get a PS5?
Nobody. I pre-ordered mine in February, so I just pre-ordered it very, very early, and that's kind of it. Yeah, I mean, look, I was extraordinarily lucky because both of us were. So like Kevin has a PS5 as well. Both of us were extremely lucky.
You haven't
because
sold twice the price yet.
Huh?
But double the price. You haven't sold one of them.
No, God, no. The GameStop that we got our PS5 from only took in, I don't actually know if you know this, they only actually took in 200 PS5s.
Fuck.
Yeah, really? 200 PS5s.
Oh.
So my order number was 36. So, I mean, I pre-ordered mine in early February, and there was 35 people that pre-ordered it before that. So in January. So, like, we were just extremely lucky, basically. We just kind of pre-ordered ours at the right time.
Yeah. We're just that sad.
Yeah.
How long do you think it was until all of them were pre-ordered?
Oh, I'd say mid-March.
Yeah.
At best. Like,
yeah.
Wow. Yeah, there was all the ones designated for Canada. All of them sold out in 9 minutes.
Oh, holy
Jesus, fuck, man.
I was in the when I entered the queue. I didn't want one for myself. I got an Xbox Series X for myself. And I only got it because the only game I play is Forza Motorsport. But
all right, okay, fair enough.
It's the only game I play. So, but I tried to get a PS5 for my daughter. So logged in, everything else like that. Got into the queue. You're number 78 trillion, something like that. And I'm watching the ticker go down, and I'm watching the stock go down. And when I was
to the bottom, like that thing.
when I was 12,000 people ahead of me in the queue, they were sold out.
Holy fuck!
Jesus, man.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Like, I know it's a shitty tactic, but it is a legitimate marketing tactic for them to under supply so that
Yep.
hype goes up for the console, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Like, Nintendo does this the whole fucking night. Do you remember when the Wii came out? You couldn't get that fucker for
Yeah, I
6
remember
months.
God,
Yeah,
that was fucking huge.
The difference
Yeah.
there is Nintendo didn't do it intentionally. They're shit.
Agreed.
Yeah.
They are really bad at
They-
predicting what their markets are going to do.
Yeah, they didn't have a proper plan for that at all, and
No.
they've subsequently done that as well.
But they do it every fucking time though. Nintendo does, so they're not shit every time. They're not idiots.
No, they are.
They're
They
not. They're
actually-
on purpose. They do it on
whoever's-
purpose.
Whoever's doing their marketing plan is ridiculous
They're
because
just
they
crafty
actually
cunts is all they are.
they cut
man.
they cut in third. They only create about a third of
Yeah.
what everyone else is predicting that they'll sell.
It's interesting. A friend of mine works for Ubisoft. He works in the he's an artist on the Assassin's Creed series, and he's been to several game conferences, stuff like that. Nintendo, the company Nintendo, is an incredibly small company. There's like 300 employees
Fuck, really?
for the whole company.
Boy.
So
Wow.
I think that's why they have a like. I think that's why they. I don't know. Maybe it's like, well, maybe this one won't sell like all the other ones have. I don't know what. I don't know what they're thinking.
Why would they think that? They've had like 10 consoles in a row that sold out massively.
Oh, I know.
Will this be a trend? Let's play it safe.
Yeah, even though there's almost no third party stuff. It's all
Yeah. But having said that, in the sector I work in IT, I do know for a fact that it's like, geez, it's hard to get just standard laptops now at the minute because an awful lot of the chip manufacturers, Intel and stuff like that, they're just backed up because of COVID and shit like that.
Mhm.
But like, in that sense, maybe they get a bit of a pass, a little bit, but still, like they should have fucking forecasted a bit better.
Well, I mean, it's very, very difficult this year to predict anything. It's genuinely impossible because incomes have decreased by about a third. So can they actually afford these luxury items? And let's face it, they are luxury items. And for most people, they're unobtainable. So it's incredible the lengths of which people are going to in order to secure these basic games consoles, particularly for their children, because the illusion of Santa.
Yeah, people are selling PS5 in Canada. People are selling PS5s for $2,000.
Yeah, I think it's about 600, 700, 800 over here.
Yeah,
I think the most I've seen is 850 or 800 or something.
So three and a half times the price because the top of the one with the drive, the one with the disc drive here is $629 Canadian. So something for over 3 times the price.
Fuck, Jesus, that's the purest example of the supply and demand curve matching up the other, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's
I
just
just
what
want
it is.
to tell them I'm going to buy them and meet them and kick them in the balls. You can keep the console. You're just an asshole.
So Dart just posted up on my post. Now only 7 for Math Big.
Yeah, 7. I just checked it. There's 993.
Look there now. Was now 993. Fuck,
And I forgot about it.
So
yeah, I mean, because like I have no plan. Like, nobody has any plans for New Year's this year. So I actually might watch that just for the laugh. Like,
oh yeah, definitely.
yeah,
Yeah.
seeing his all his glory in his mankini.
Math Big, what time are you going live on New Year's Eve? I'm guessing, if you're still there.
He's not. His head would be there.
He's not.
He fell asleep in the chair.
Yeah,
I just went to the bathroom.
there you go.
Sleeping Warrior is returning.
I'm just going to watch some paint dry for New Year's Eve.
That coincides with my plan to watch the grass grow.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's hard to do in late December, early January, but you'll be watching very intently.
I can't.
Not yet.
Oh, no.
Why wouldn't you want to watch MathPig stream where he's dressed in a mankini, Michael? I just.
Oh, I didn't know that was the plan. Fuck.
Oh, that's the plan. That's the plan. If he gets to 1,000 subscribers.
So
Michael,
Michael,
he gets fuck. Okay.
yeah,
hang on.
Michael, leverage
Okay.
whatever social resources you have to get him those extra 7
Yeah.
subscribers. Please
7
do.
away. He's only 7 away.
Jesus Christ.
Leverage it.
Hey.
And my subscribers are pretty awesome. They when they do actually see it, they'll go and sub.
So, MathPig, for every subscriber you're short of 1,000, I'll give you $1,000 to do the mankini thing.
I'm 6 away, man. I'm only 6 away, but it's not actually here. It was delivered to my mother's house.
You got mankini delivered to your ma's
Well,
house?
it's gonna-
Yes, I get all my post delivered to my mother's house because the postman.
I love the way that you said that in the most Irish way possible. Yeah, delivered to your ma's house.
I'm sorry, like.
Oh no! The
mean
postman's
the-
smart enough to put everything in the White House out the back. You know?
If I ordered that, and my mother asked me what is drugs.
Yeah, I'd say
That's
drugs.
embarrassing.
It's like, what is this? Is this? It says mankini. No, it's cocaine.
It's fine. Fine.
Okay,
I mean, you see, like,
I'm gonna make a deal with you, Matt.
Go on, Kat,
Right, quick, because I do have to go to bed because I've work in the morning. So go on.
So do I. I have to run as well. But if we get you to 1,000 subs, that'll be fine. If we don't, I'm calling on Team Skeptic, because he'll be going live, I think, tomorrow or Tuesday, and because of the mankini thing, that's his thing. I'll speak to him about it.
These are all bastards.
what time are you going live on New Year's, MathPig?
You probably the usual time, 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. I think I'm
Yeah,
working
yeah.
till 10:30. Man.
Pardon?
Oh,
Yeah, I know it's awful.
oh.
Yeah,
That's awful.
I'm working till
Where do you work?
10 on New Year's Eve.
Well, you can join at 11. Go home, wash your balls, join the stream. You know.
Nice.
I might even skip the first step. I'm not going to lie to you. Or I might go like completely alpha and do both at the same time.
Oh man, if I do mankini, are you gonna come and drag?
God knows what's going on down here. Like.
Although, there's a plan.
You have
There's a plan.
This wouldn't
There's a
This
plan.
wouldn't be Stephen's first time doing drag.
No, for MathPig to do the mankini and me to go and drag. Yeah, no, I'll do it. Yeah, okay, there we go. I'll do it. MathPig, if you get to
Did you
1,000
say go
subs by
and
New Year's,
drag?
I will go in a mankini. Yep, I'll go and drag.
Brilliant.
For the whole stream as well. It won't just be the little bit at the end. I'll go and drag for the whole stream.
You
What?
shave your beard?
No.
You won't shave your
Nope.
beard?
Nope. I didn't last time, and I'm not going to this time either.
You have
No.
I'm not agreeing to be mankini.
No, the last time that I was in drag, it was actually on MathPig stream. I've been on drag. Yeah. I've been in drag on stream before, yeah.
Right.
So, yeah.
I'm
if
so
he gets
sad I
1,000
won't-
subs,
I'm so sad I won't be able to catch that.
Oh, you will.
why
We'll
would you?
make-
Why would you not? Okay. Michael,
Right.
we've done 3 debates now
I'm fucking
together.
with you. I'm fucking with you.
I was just going to say, we've done 3 debates together. You've been on MathPig's channel. Why would you not want to see me in drag and him in a Frankie?
Let me count the ways.
I will leave on this, right? I will leave it for my 250th subscriber. I was all up for it, right? If anybody can think of the most worst way for me to embarrass myself, self-deprecation is the funniest way to have a bit of fun. And nobody can
Absolutely.
like anything. We had no party, we had no nothing. So fuck me, we'll blow it out 4 times worse. We'll go to 1,000, we'll get a mankini.
Did you say self-defecation?
Oh.
Self-deprecation.
Deprecation.
You just-
Deprecation.
Okay.
Hang on.
Okay,
Did
you're
you
gonna
just
call me
try-
out on the
Take it down
pronunciation. All right.
Did
have
you
fun.
just try to push the bar out and then refuse to do the mankini for the 2,000 and instead for the 4,000? No. If you get 2,000, you're definitely doing the. Or if you get the 1K, you have to do the mankini.
Oh no, I'm doing that. No. The reason that it went on Twitter is because a particular person didn't think that I would ever wear it, and I was like, "Would I not wear it? I fucking hit 1,000. I'll wear it on stream. Boom! It's on Twitter. It's real."
What if we can get you 2,000? We get you like your balls waxed or something?
I've already my balls, man.
Jesus Christ! I'm gonna need some brain bleach for that one.
Right.
Okay,
On
if
that-
we get you to 2,000, right? Last thing, I swear, Mathbig. If we get you to 2,000, will you hook yourself up to one of those machines that simulates the pain of pregnancy?
Albert?
Oh fuck! He needs to do it. He needs to do it.
No.
Please don't. That is just cruel.
No,
That's
it
like-
won't.
Have you experienced it, Crafty?
I have
Right,
not.
I'm
I have
all-
been in the room with someone who has.
Okay.
I'm done.
And yeah.
Five
we don't-
more.
waterboarded.
5 more subscribers. And do you know what the best of it is? Usually going to claim all the fucking credit for this. It's probably the guy who
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's
I
40,000
did nothing.
subscribers, and he released a
Shut up.
60-second video and told everybody to go and sub to my channel. So it's probably him. But we'll give all the credit to fucking Rib.
5
There you
more.
go. 5 more.
5 more.
All right,
Right.
Mathbig and Keela, we have kept you along for way too long after you said that you were going to go. Thank you so much for turning up tonight. We've had an absolute blast. It's been so much fun. And,
You can't
we'll-
see it. I'm waving goodbye right now. Bye, people.
Yeah, to everybody,
Bye, guys.
to everybody on here, just before you take off. Oh, there you go. Is that 2 fingers? Okay. Mathbig, I made this offer to you before, but I still want to do it. Got to have you on the podcast, and to everybody here, Keela, I'd love to have you on as well. I'm going to say your name wrong again. Leophilus. Everybody.
Leophilius.
Yeah,
Just call him Leo.
Leophilus. Pardon me.
Leo.
Yeah. I'll post something in the group chat here. You can send me an email and we'll have you on, and we'll make fun of the funny things that believers do and say.
No bother. Send me an email. I'll probably not copy that and forget.
I will copy it and I'll send you a quick email so you have mine. Yay.
Yeah, mine's hugfathermp at gmail.com. CC me in it so I don't fucking forget that.
There you go.
There you go. Right. I'm out of here. If I don't wake up and I'm not 1,000, I will also hold you directly responsible, Stephen.
Okay, no pressure.
No pressure.
Yeah,
No pressure.
hold the lads responsible, not me, because I did my part. Good night, lads.
Thanks very much.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you.
Great to meet you.
Bye bye.
So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go have sex with my wife.
All right, okay. Well, I'm not going to stop you. I am not going to stop you.
No, I mean not. I mean you guys are great, but
Hey man, not that great.
But well, she touches me in bad places. So
And on that bombshell,
there you go.
All right, thanks so much, Michael,
Thanks so much.
for turning
If
up.
that doesn't push Math Big over 1,000 subs, I don't know what will.
Thanks so much, Michael. I love you, brother.
Yeah, I love you too. And well, we're gonna have to figure it out, and Kevin as well. Gonna have to figure out a way to get something going again on MDD.
Yeah,
maybe
definitely, man.
Maybe we can do like a 6-way, like the 2 of you, or like the three of us, and find 3 other schmucks, and talk about, I don't know, something stupid that believers believe and do and say.
Sure.
Alrighty. Yeah, Leo, great to meet you. Dave, you got to shut up, man. You talk too much.
Terrible.
Yeah. And we'll see you on the other side, guys.
You will, man. You will.
Take
Cheers,
care.
Michael.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.
Right, I'm going to.
Oh, God. Jesus.
Time to end the stream.
I was just going to say that. Yeah, okay. I think we're kind of coming up to the point now where we're just going to end before everybody goes.
we did none of our topics.
No, we did 2 of them. We did 2 of them.
Yeah.
But, I always kind of have like way too many topics anyway, in case, it gets boring or, I don't know, people drop off or all that sort of stuff. So, it was It was so fun. We talked about crisps for an hour, you know, and then like went into the intricate details on what is soda, what is pop, and what is a fizzy drink. And you know what? That is the type of quality content that I like to see here on YouTube, and I'm just so happy that I'm producing it. So,
Yep.
No, but honestly, I think that this was a really good representation of what we want the channel to be, because like it was a good mix of like serious discussion and stuff, and also some silly, goofy shit, just to lighten the mood. And that's kind of what I want us to kind of continue going forward as a team, like kind of good mix of both. And this is a good reintroduction to the podcast, the proper long form podcast. This is a podcast. This is a podcast.
Well, I mean,
you're on it right now.
You're here, Leo. Thanks for taking the wind out of my sails.
You've been here since the start. I wouldn't even mind. It's up there in the fucking corner.
Oh shit! It is
next to the Streamlabs logo.
Oh fuck! Hey.
It's not called Talking Shite number 1. Like, it's called Podcast number 1.
What can you do? Sometimes, sometimes we forget things. Sometimes
people do that once.
All right, Leo, Dave, thank you so much for turning up. It's just been this. I genuinely, in the last 2.5 hours, which is what we've been going for now, I honestly don't think that I've laughed this much in that short amount of time. So it's just,
makes you feel good.
I just want to say thank you to everybody who's turned up, who's been commenting along, who's been doing all of that sort of stuff. Everybody go and sub to MathPig. I don't know when the next stream will be. You know, it's the fucking it's the 21st technically now. It's 20th of December, and this will probably be our last stream for this year. So I hope to kind of see everybody again next year.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. You know,
and so listen, it can't conceivably be worse than this year.
No. It's only going up. We've hit
hope.
rock bottom, and we're only going up.
Yeah, let's hope.
You know, we're starting to enter a COVID-free world. Trump is no longer president, and you know, bacon is still delicious to eat. So I think that all in all, productive, good end to the end of the year.
When he starts his coup next week, you're going to look ridiculous.
When what?
When Trump starts his coup next week.
I'm going to look back on the end of this podcast and hang my head in shame.
Back in the before days.
All right, guys, look, with that, I know that I've kind of said it a few times or whatever. We're going to end the podcast now. Thank you again so much to everybody for coming up. We'll talk to you all again in 2021. Thanks, guys.
Be prepared.